Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, August 6th, 2020. Wow, time is flying. It just seems like it was just wintertime. Then we had springtime, and now it's summertime, and it won't be long. It's going to be wintertime again. I know one thing. I sure hope I can get through this hurricane season without a hurricane. Hope so. Speaking of that hurricane that hit in the Northeast, make sure everybody says a prayer for all them people up there. Lots of damage, lots of people without power. It's just horrible situation. So make sure everybody says a prayer for them up there because they really need it right now. And also in Beirut, Lebanon, with the big explosion that happened over there, make sure you guys say a prayer to all of them over there because it's a tough time when tragic stuff happens like that. So make sure everybody says a prayer for them. Let's see who's in here. Got Bob in here. Says can't wait to see you live. Good to see you tonight. Yep, we just left SMT's live stream. Did a really great job as always. He is the big homie. There he is. What's up, big homie?
Can you guys see me?
You look lost.
Can you guys see me?
Are you hiding from Neville?
I'm invisible yet. I'm trying to use this cloaking software. Can you guys see me?
Are you hiding from the skunk apes? That's what it is. I thought so. You're afraid you're going to eat that new Pixel phone on T-Mobile, right?
There was one in the live chat, bro. Skunk Apes was in there, bro.
Oh, I saw him in there. Yeah. He kept saying he was hungry. He said all this phone talks making me
Ricky,
hungry.
how was the earnings report for you, bro?
I don't know. I didn't even watch it, actually.
Well, do you listen?
I listened to what you said about it.
Okay.
Hello, Tim.
Right.
How you doing?
What's up?
How you been, buddy?
I am good. Driving home.
Oh, great. Got to go home, take a shower, get all that skunkiness off you, huh?
How many people we got in the live?
I'm going home so that I don't stink so bad when I whoop Steed and the Volvese.
Yeah,
Shut
there
up,
you go.
Tim. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm gonna have to whoop on you again, bro.
Channel.
Cut it out.
Oh my gosh, it's too crazy. Kaiman here.
Kimon.
Yes. Gene, Dan.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people going to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Got 42 in here already. Wow.
Nice.
We're going to have a big crowd tonight.
Cooking with gas.
Yeah. Here goes with this StreamYard moving around on me again already. Okay, Jared.
We just started.
I copied you on the email.
Saw
Did you see that?
Saw it. Yeah, man.
They're doing all this other stuff like 1080p and stuff. I said, no. Give me a highlighter for my damn chat.
Yes, sir.
So we don't get lost.
Yeah, man.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Ram 14250's here.
Nimmer
Jabber.
Yeah.
Overhide. Arshawn.
Yeah, man.
Get all of our favorite people in here.
Teletech. Yeah, good people.
Baby
bro.
Yoda.
Brennan.
Looky there. Sporting them skunkies everywhere.
Skunky
Kathy's
see,
here.
skunky do.
Good to see ya. Chase's here. Troy's here.
Troy.
Let's see who else. Tech Central's here.
He's ready to eat.
I wonder if the skunk
cake.
ape is here. Have anybody seen him yet?
Anybody? What's the sound of a skunk ape?
crunch as he's eating that tennis. Oh yeah. Where is Ricky? Is he on yet? No, he's not on yet.
I've never heard of him.
I'm chasing the skunk apes away, so some T-Mobiles can have some service around here. You guys ready? Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, man.
Gene, MS.
Hey,
hello
Gene.
there, MS. Yeah, I responded to your message I saw in the chat there, or in the YouTube comments. Yeah. Hello.
Where's Carlos? Can we get Carlos in here, man?
I know. I sent him the link. Hopefully, at least pops in for a few minutes. I feel bad for him. He's going through some stress right now. So
really? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, just things is kind of hard, It's tough.
Yeah.
His car got smashed, and his wife got in an accident, and then all these haters hating on all of us for speaking the damn truth. Oh my God!
I don't
They're
let it
attacking
faze
me
me,
too.
man.
I mean,
I don't let it faze me anymore, dude.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go. You just gotta say, okay, here's the facts. You know, if
so
you want to eat
heard
of cardboard cake with fake icing, go right ahead, knock yourself out.
You've heard of the Teflon Don? Like that saying, Teflon. Nothing sticks, bro. That's how you have to do it. Nothing stick.
Yep, that's right.
I want to ask.
Hello, puppy
Tim.
dog. Puppy dog's here.
Tim, when customers come in and act a fool, bro, do you dwell on it and let it get to you?
How are you doing?
I mean, every once in a blue moon,
Info assistance here.
becomes a conversation piece for like 5 minutes, and it's like whatever.
Yeah. Ernesto's here. Caesar's
Hey,
here.
Cesar, what is up, bruh? Hey, Kathy.
Everybody's here.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is these little sounds? Cake and
Cake.
Yeah.
Zebra cakes, birthday cakes, confetti cakes.
Neville's making that triple layer cake. You know what it is? It's cardboard with fake icing on it.
That's only 2 layers.
Well, it's 3 layers of cardboard.
Oh,
And then 3 layers of fake icing on it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it's kind of funny how he's bragging about this layer cake is launched right now with an X55 modem. It's not possible. That just shows you how dumb he is. He's deceiving everybody. He says we got the triple layer cake.
I'll tell you something,
because
Rick.
with the X55 modem on the phones, you can only pick the bottom 2 layers of the cake or the top layer of the cake. And we already know what their top layer of the cake is.
Ricky,
their millimeter wave is garbage.
I'm pretty sure that Neville does not control his Twitter. I'm pretty sure because when he
speaks, Pete! How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Pete. When he speaks, it's more accurate and truthful, I think, and a little bit more honest than his Twitter account is.
Yeah.
His Twitter account is literally
Well, we already know it's not really him on those accounts.
Yeah, his Twitter account is a fairy tale. It's like fantasy.
You're naive if you think any executive maintains their own Twitter.
Yeah, they don't have time for all that. Yeah, they don't have time for that.
John Fryer does.
Yeah, well,
John Fryer does, because he'll post contests for us and stuff in there.
Yeah,
he also retweets Horn Dog comments. So
yeah, he's a weirdo. Yeah, he's a piece of.
So if they retweet Horn Dog comments, you can tell it's legitimate. But if they're not doing anything Horn Dog and it's like they're hyperbolizing, probably just PR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say thank you to my Patreon members. Mike, Baby Yoda, Dan, Kyman, Paul, Gene, and Troy. I picked up a couple more this week. So thank you guys for your support.
It's
and also for the one-time donations too that I got too.
Kimon.
Thank you all for the support. Yeah, I can't say all these names right. Kimon. No.
Yeah, that's right. Kimon. Yeah.
Oh, Kimon. Okay.
Because it's an I. It's pronounced E.
Oh, okay. It's like it's like potato or potato.
Well, nobody says potato.
Or tornado or tornado.
There you go.
Or is it pecan or pecan?
Well, that's
I know it ain't no. You don't pee in a can.
That's a real thing. Pecan or
pecan pie. That's how we said it in Louisiana. It's pecan pie. You go say pecan down there, them Cajuns, they look at you. You're gonna pee in whose can?
Right. I think pecan is more of like an Eastern.
Yankee, Northeastern, yeah,
pecan,
exactly. Yeah, the English language and accents and stuff is it's kind of really funny and stuff. So.
Yeah, but we could laugh at each other, like I, teased you about washing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
that
just worship
Dixie
my car.
Talk, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and you should see how they talk in West Virginia. Oh my.
Steve's the only one I know that says diabetes.
No. Wilford Brimley.
He say that on purpose, though.
Rest in peace. Wilford Brimley was the one who started that. All right.
He died due to a violent case of the diabetes.
Diabetes. I never heard it pronounced that way by anybody except Wilford Brimley. That's it.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm a diabetic, and
I'm a diabetic
diabetes.
Too. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucks. Well, thank God it's under control.
I got my A1C down to 5.6.
Well, you want to hear something, Pete? You know what? I went to see my doctor. You know what he said? He said your sugar's too low. He says I'm gonna adjust your medicine so it's higher.
What's your sugar?
It was running between 80 and 90 every day. I had it perfect. He goes, no. You need to be 120. I want you in a safe range so that you don't pass out and wreck your car and then sue me.
So my sugar.
I have never had any problems with 80 to 90.
That's where I'm at. That's where most people are.
Sugar's 80 to 90.
I think I'm going to fire him. See, when you have poor network service, you fire them. You switch, right? Well, I'm going to switch too. I'm going to fire my doctor and get some good service.
Well, maybe
I've done
when
that
like
with
say for
doctors.
example, like you eat a meal, wouldn't you expect it to come up to about 120, 110?
Well, I mean, it does go up and down slowly, yeah, a little bit,
Right.
but
When I eat a meal, I go up to about 140, and then I get it back down around 80.
yeah, but when I was 80 or 90, it would only go up to like 110 or 120.
That's
But
regular.
now it's 110, 120, and then I eat and it spikes sometimes at 200.
Yeah. So
And then I feel like crap, you know.
lethargic and
I'm gonna fire him because when I was 80 to 90 for like a month, I felt the best I ever did in my whole life. So.
How
Hey,
are you-
I
how
feel
are you
the same
managing
way
it?
when I'm like that.
Oh, just insulin and pills. There's two
Okay.
different things. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I'm
about
just
it.
doing
And plus, I
fast
eat good
acting
too.
insulin.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so funny when we was in Vegas. Remember that Pete was over there, was eating breakfast over there. I was eating all the bad shit. I said, I'm only here in Vegas for 1 week. I said, I'm gonna eat whatever the hell I want. And what did I do? I took extra insulin. I kind of cheated. I said, I preloaded. You know,
And I shook my
an
head.
extra 30 units.
I gotta
and then
pregame these pills right quick.
I was eating them muffins, man. Them things were good. I know they were loaded with damn sugar in
I
it.
shook my head and ate free pork products and eggs.
Yeah, I tell you, Vegas was fun. I had a
Yeah, man.
blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to Carlos, the big homie, and TK. Them
Good
two
man.
made it happen for me. So
Good dudes.
yeah,
I
very good
enjoyed
dudes.
a lot of meaty bits there, and my sugar was great.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. All right, let's see who else popped in here. We got Tech Free Needs in here. Donald's in here. Okay, who's this? Tech Zoe channel.
What's up, Texo?
Oh, you know who that is? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, some people I've never seen before. So yeah, welcome to the channel.
Good people.
Okay,
All
what
good people.
Gene says is not yet because T-Mobile cut him off the Skunks 80s tower. Woo! Well, I dumped Skunk a couple months ago, so I have an AT&T. I got an AT&T SIM card right here. I got AT&T. I got Verizon in here right now in this rotten apple. I got a Verizon card in here. Yeah, you should see these tests I did. It's crazy test. Speed tests are awesome down here.
Which carrier?
Verizon, AT&T. They're both really fast. They're like over 100 and like 50, 60 up. Good pings.
Wow, 50, 60 up. Holy
In
crap.
my market, Verizon is competitive with T-Mobile, and that's the only competition you have.
AT&T's lagging.
Yep.
Hey, Carlos, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Carlos.
I just
Hey,
came.
really?
I just came in to make another point, and I'm out.
All right. Standalone is fake.
You see that tower right there?
Yep.
No.
Solo layout, Rick.
Well,
There you go.
you see that
Yeah.
tower right there?
It's way out there.
T-Mobile's a single panel, right? Why do I have standalone service when it's a band 66 tower? Band 66.
Raccoonery buffoonery.
Band 66 tower, but I'm connected to standalone. Thank you very much on this one.
Yeah, and then how do you make phone calls on standalone?
See,
Over LTE.
standalone.
VoLTE because VONR has not been released with the
Because
codec yet.
standalone uses voice over NR.
I'm
Mhm.
out.
See you, Carlos. Thanks for that, Carlos.
He's just hitting and running, bro.
Yeah, he's in running. I don't blame him, man.
He's just like, wham, I'm out.
Showing the proof and bucking
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
But
buddy.
see, we all know.
Yeah.
We know that. We know
Yeah,
that
that
there's.
stuff is fake.
I'm assuming that there are some really select markets where there wasn't any AT&T before that they could build out where there wasn't any LTE before where they could build out some standalone 5G, and in every other market,
Well, here's the whole biggest problem what they did, okay? All right, so you selected one band on band 71 to do your 5G on, right? And it's not even fully deployed across the United States. 1 out of every 6 towers has it on it. So what's going to happen if you do the standalone and you go between 2 towers? It's not going to overlap. You're going to get
Nope.
a drop call. It's going to say no service. When you get back into coverage again, it's going to come back up as service. When you're on the edge of those towers, your speeds are going to tank. They're going to be like the crappy LTE speeds. Now, if you happen to be right underneath the damn panel on a standalone tower, Carlos proved it. He did a speed test. He was getting 100
you
megabits
want to
down.
be 13 degrees from it, not right
Well,
under
yeah,
it.
you know what I mean. But he was right there, and he was getting good speeds. But then he was saying, "Oh, well, guess what? There's no
I drive
using
over
it. That's
here
why
at
it's 100
times.
megabits. You load the tower with all these phones, it's going to go back down to 5 megabits. That is not real 5G. It's fake. You got to do multiple bands, with carrier aggregation.
Hold up. Let's take a bike analogy.
Yep.
When you're young, you're on a tricycle and
With
you
training
got
wheels.
no, a tricycle, 3 wheels.
Yeah, tricycle with training wheels. That's how Skunk Mobile does it.
No. Let me finish.
Okay, good.
So the Verizon and AT&T 5G plans are kind of like when you're on that plastic tricycle. The T-Mobile plan is when you're on a tricycle, when you move the pedals and it doesn't move and your parents push you from behind.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. Either way, you're not on a bike with training wheels. You're on a low-to-the-ground tricycle that doesn't move.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, T-Mobile is a little behind.
A little?
Some places, quite a bit behind.
I think they're really behind. Their density is horrible.
Dude, in some places they're a little.
Uh-oh.
Some they're quite a bit.
There's a skunk ape. Oh,
But
boy.
what I'm getting at is give it, 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it's going to take at least that to even just catch up to anybody else.
No, let me finish. You give it 3 to 4 years, and you'll have a better, more refined 5G experience of care.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the infancy.
Low DGAF.
Well, I was going to say, in my area, I've been streaming on T-Mobile the whole entire time, my whole entire way home. I haven't dropped connection once. Haven't lagged out once.
Were you in the store?
Yeah, I left my store.
Do they have a DAS at your store?
Say what?
You turned it off.
Do they have a DAS at your store? Most T-Mobile stores.
Yeah, I do have one.
Okay.
But it's not active anymore because I don't need it.
Oh, okay. Well, you must have a site close to you then. That's good. Yeah, there's some areas like here in the Keys. T-Mobile works good in the Keys. That's because there's nobody using it.
Ricky.
Yeah, my site's 1.62 miles away on.
Yeah.
So I can get band 2, band 4, band 71. But
okay.
My point is I've now traveled here in just a minute 36 miles, no issues.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's
so in North Carolina, T-Mobile is really good. In North Carolina, T-Mobile's competition is only Verizon Wireless because AT&T is still complete trash.
AT&T could use a DAS in his store.
AT&T has no service in my store.
Verizon has no service in the back of his store.
Isn't that so crazy how you go different areas and just some carriers work, some don't? It just
I'm still surprised they have 2 AT&T stores in my city, where in half the city they have 3G.
Skunk Mobile PU. You guys are funny.
It's kind of like, wow, you're selling.
Yep.
And your service isn't there.
Yeah.
Which, you can fault T-Mobile for in some markets too. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you go north up US 1, going out of Wake Forest into like Youngsville, Franklin County, Henderson, T-Mobile is terrible. You're probably going to go 40, 50 miles, no service at all.
Oh, wow.
And you're on a fallback band for Verizon or AT&T?
No, you're on US Cellular because even Verizon AT&T has no infrastructure. It's US Cellular is your only choice.
Oh, wow.
Like, when I say the Carolinas suck, they suck.
Oh, wow.
They're not Mississippi bad, but they're pretty bad.
One thing that kind of hurts it up there is all your density of your forest up there, your pine trees, because pine trees really wreak havoc on cellular signals.
So, well, you got that, and tower density here is not very good. I mean, you should be going in some locations up to 5.5 miles before you hand off to another site.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good enough with the dense foliage. And yeah, that's true.
And that's the case with all 3 carriers there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One thing nice about Verizon, most time they got like higher sites out in the rural area, and they're closer together too.
Yeah,
gives them a little bit more overlap.
Verizon's towers here on average are 155 feet to about 190 feet.
Oh wow, yeah, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's take a look at something. Somebody was talking about U.S. Cellular, so I figured I'd share this with you guys. So I don't know if anybody here has U.S. Cellular or not, but
I want to get a sim and try them.
yeah. Well, I used to be a customer of theirs when I was in West Virginia when I worked up there, but unfortunately it didn't work out too good because I lived in the area where they had service, and then I left their area and I was roaming, and they said they're going to cancel my service because I'm roaming too much. Yet they have a commercial on TV saying, we have more towers than anybody else. We have nationwide coverage. But yeah, evidently you can only roam like 500 megabits of speed or of data. If you go over that, because I was roaming on Verizon. So what I did is I left Verizon or left US Cellular and just went to Verizon. It's like, well, at least Verizon
So
has coverage in
I
both
mean,
where I work and where I live. So, but US
T-Mobile
Cellular
has
was
the exact
horrible
same.
for me.
Well, T-Mobile has the exact same policy. If you're
Yeah,
roaming
roaming too much.
effectively for longer than 90 days and you're roaming, let's say like over 60 or 75% of the time, they'll just
Right.
deactivate your account.
unless you're on business.
Correct. Business account is the only way you can get around that.
I also don't have that 500 meg cap.
Yep. If you're
Mhm.
on an EIN, that is true.
Yep.
I'm able, if I'm in an area and I have to roam on, AT&T to get service, they're giving me the AT&T 3G that AT&T's offering.
Very limited areas.
What I
Is it better
really
to have
like,
service antennas on a very tall tower or a lower tower?
what I
Well,
really like
it
is
just really
when
depends.
I'm able to roam on Verizon in the markets where T-Mobile has no coverage because they actually let me use LTE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just depends on how it's set up. Generally, if it's a taller tower, it'll have more range. It'll actually has more range, but if you're between the towers, you won't have as much density. You go in a house or a business, and you may not get a good enough signal unless it's low band. And
You
even
get
with low
valley
band, you're
issues.
still going to have poor signal. The best way to do it is have lower tower sites, and then you can actually put them closer together, and then that actually gets you a more denser network. Verizon does that. They space their towers very close together, and only like 75 to 100 feet up. Except in some big rural areas, they'll put them up on 350-foot towers. But
Well,
they'll still space them 5 miles apart, which is not too bad.
ideally, you want them close enough and low enough for good handoffs between the two. But
Mhm.
I say ideally because in some locations,
Howdy.
you encounter issues where the municipality does not allow certain towers to be built in a certain area or
That's
at a
true.
certain
Yeah, there's
height.
sometimes restrictions. Yeah.
So it's T-Mobile Business that allows you to roam on Verizon sometimes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here's the article here. This U.S. Cellular just said they're expanding their 5G, which is not really true 5G. It's fake 5G, just like
It's
everybody
kind of
else's.
like their 5G is kind of like the T-Mobile 71 5G.
Exactly. It's 10% 5G and the rest is LTE. So it's not even 100%. But at least they're making some kind of effort to get it, slowly rolled out. They're doing 11 states so far with 600 megahertz. Now, I don't know if they're going to do any DSS on their stuff and include the other bands. I'm sure they might do that later. It just really depends. Okay, now these guys are the fourth largest infrastructure-based wireless carrier because they're a regional carrier. They're not in every state. They're moving beyond its two initial markets in Iowa and Wisconsin. That's where they first started with this fake 5G. I mean, I hate saying that word, but I mean it's really true. It's just like a hybrid car, basically. It's gas and electric. It's both. Now they're going to do it in 11 states. So they're
Hey,
deploying
I like
5G
my
using
hybrid
approach
car.
that targets clusters where there are a large number of existing customers that are likely to use upgraded technology. So We look at traffic patterns and find out where people frequent our system the most. Let's see, including California, Maine, Maryland, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, and Virginia, Washington, and West Virginia. And that's where I had them at when I was in West Virginia.
So
Yep.
You say the current 5G is kind of like a hybrid car.
Yep.
That you get benefits from the hybrid in the hybrid car with gas mileage. The only time I've been in a vehicle that got took 9 gallons of gas and could go 450 miles on regular unleaded was in a hybrid.
Yep.
So
yep, that helps you.
The non-standalone 5G adds a little bit of capacity on top of the LTE, but you're not getting like the same experience as if you were in a full electric car.
Well, the only way you're adding capacity is if you add an extra band. Spectrum.
Exactly.
If you're using the current spectrum band and then you split it in half LTE and half NR, like T-Mobile's doing,
you're losing capacity.
You're losing capacity, exactly.
And
because if you got an LTE phone, you lose it.
I think US Cellular is in the same boat.
Yep,
even if you have a 5G antenna for that, you're still losing 5 to 15% capacity.
Yeah. Well, the 600 megahertz is a new deployment also.
Yep.
And they have LTE on, and that's what they're doing. They're going up and they're doing split mode on it, and they're doing split and split just like them. So, and of course it's LTE advanced. They got on the LTE stuff that they got already, and it's 256 QAM, carrier aggregation, and all that stuff. They don't have that much spectrum. Of course, they don't have a lot of customers either. So, since it's mostly a rural-based type regional carrier, so
US Cellular, they make all their money off of all the other carriers roaming onto them.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true, because other carriers don't build out there because they got. I mean, why would you put a whole bunch of $1 million towers up in an area when this company already has them, and you just make them some kind of deal? That's all.
I'm actually impressed with how much CBRS US Cellular picked up.
You mean Band 48?
Yeah.
Everybody keeps calling it CBRS, and it's losing a lot of people because they're like, they don't know that. Like if we call all the bands by their name, like PCS and AWS, people will be lost. But when you make it into a number, which they sign a number to it, sometimes it's a little easier to track a whole bunch of numbers than it is a bunch of letters.
So you'll be surprised with the amount of areas they picked up.
Yeah, and it says right here. I said mid-band would be band 48. And C-band, which is the 3.7, which don't have a band number yet. So we don't have no choice but to call it 3.7 or C-band. But they're both C-band. You got to remember, 3.7 is C-band. This CBRS 3.5 is C-band.
Ricky, chill.
5.8 is C-band.
CBRS is Citizen Broadcast.
2.4 gigahertz is C-band.
Listen, CBRS is Citizen Broadcast Radio Service.
Yeah.
They're dealing with certain hobbyists and non-corporate entities using underutilized spectrum within that band, as well as losing service on it if the Navy needs to use radar in that area.
Yeah, it's got the priority access users, and then you got the PAL users, the secondary, and then the general access.
And then you have the incumbent,
and that's the unlicensed part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a bottom and top range above the cell range, and then you have the U.S. Navy, who are priority 0.
Yep.
Which turn off everybody.
And band 48 is like Wi-Fi. And it's like millimeter wave. It has the same power. Wi-Fi. It's only 1 watt. Millimeter wave is 1 watt. And band 46 is Wi-Fi. It's LTE-U, which means unlicensed LTE. So it's only 1 watt. The macro cells are like 30 watts. So it's got a lot more power on them. So it's definitely a small cell capacity. Now, Verizon's doing something interesting. They're actually doing the CBRS on all their macro sites, but the reason it's going to be beneficial to them is because when you're really close to the tower, you're going to connect to that 48, and when you're connected to that as a priority, then all the other bands like 13, 66, 2, and 4, then the all the phones that's between the towers will actually connect to those bands, and then when you're close to the tower, connect to 48, so that'll offload a lot of the traffic. So 48 doesn't have to go very far to be beneficial, and that's why Verizon's actually launching it as a macro instead of a small cell. Yeah, here's these other frequency here too. You see AWS, PCS, all these letters and stuff. But yeah, C-band is a very huge band. You even got band 30 for AT&T is C-band. It's 3.5 or 2.3 gigahertz. It's C-band also. And actually part of the band 4 and band 66 is C-band.
Yep.
Because the upper part's 2.1 gigahertz. The download from the tower is 2.1 gigahertz. So that's C-band. Now the upload is 1.7 gigahertz. I don't think that's in C-band. I think that's one below it, like S-band or something like that.
It is.
Yep. So anyways, here's what U.S. Cellular is going to do, and here's what their core they're going to do. Currently, U.S. Cellular is updating their network with 5G non-standalone equipment that will work with its existing LTE, but the company is in the midst of requesting a proposal for standalone core. So they're going to do a trial on it. They don't know when they're going to do it yet. He said the company cast a wide net for vendors for its 5G core. He said existing vendors, Ericsson, Nokia, and Samsung, are invited to bid along with new vendors. U.S. Cellular
Ericsson.
They're also a member of the O-RAN Alliance, which O-RAN is Open RAN. That's where you can use the software and use any equipment with it. So it's all compatible. It's like an open standard, basically.
The Department of Commerce actually forced
there you go, Beck. And then let's see. So yeah, that's what they're doing. And then here's the other article I want to tell you about here. Here's Dish. Dish network slowly falls into place. Money, look at this. They got some money. They've been buying some stuff. They got a pretty good plan. Their progress. They're planning to do a virtualized 5G network build. They selected
VMware.
Mavenir. I guess that's how you say it. Sounds like a Russian company. Is that
Mavenir?
Mavenir?
That's not
Hey,
Russian.
Mav. Is that your relatives there?
Bruh.
Mavenir? I don't know. I just guessed. But they're going to supply the Open RAN software.
Yep.
Okay. This announcement signaled Dish's intent to move forward with its national standalone 5G network. They said they're going to get it done in 2 to 3 years. That's going to be a whole lot faster than Skunky's standalone that they say they already have.
One big question about Dish. Where are they getting the money to do it in 2 to 3 years?
Also, you must remember,
right
they're
here.
going to be on T-Mobile completely until they get that done.
Well, yeah, they're good. Yeah, they get the MVNO deal with that. Yeah, but Dish estimated will cost $10 billion to build the network with this new virtualized from the get-go and rely more heavily on software, which is the direction existing networks are going.
So that might be true. However, that doesn't change the cost of $1.5 million per site. Average site covers 3 miles.
Yeah, and they're doing that simply because they're able to do that simply because they do not have to accommodate legacy customers at the same time.
Well, you also got to remember too that they're inheriting all the Band 26 sites that Sprint had. So those sites, they're just taking over the leases for them. So all they got to do is just put their equipment in the building and put the antennas up there, and they're golden. So they got a jump start. So with Band 626, which is the old 850 megahertz, which used to be the old Nextel, they got that nationwide. Well, it's not really nationwide because it's regional, because Sprint wasn't nationwide. They were a regional carrier. So, but still, we're talking like 25,000 sites. That's a good start right there. So
Ricky, how's Nextel doing?
Oh, you mean the new Nextel or the old Nextel?
The new
one. We know the old Nextel's dead.
Yeah, they took that out back old Yeller style.
Yeah, the new Nextel. I haven't actually talked to anybody in a while. I haven't got my demos turned back on. With this virus hitting, it kind of put everything to a standstill. So, but as soon as I get caught up with things, I am going to turn my demos back on and then start trying to sell it some more. So, definitely.
Can we rewind just for a quick second? You said that all the cell sites that have Sprint Span 26 on it are going to be going to Dish. I thought all that spectrum was just going to get decomp. They take the gear. T-Mobile keeps all the sites.
They're taking the gear off. Yeah, they're taking the antennas and the radio units and all that stuff out.
No, Ricky, the way this is going to work, so Ricky's kind of right. So there are sites that T-Mobile is going to offer Dish that have.
Why? Sprint only had like 40,000 sites nationally.
Well, I'm not, about 25 of them are not on the same sites as T-Mobile, so they're giving them that.
Well, they're offering it to them. They don't have to buy it, Ricky.
Yeah, that's true. I think it was a mistake anyways. The whole plan that T-Mobile did.
Oh yeah.
They should have kept all the Sprint sites. Because I just added more stuff to it. They would have had more density. By decomming that stuff, they just shit canned all their density that they
maybe they thought they were going to get paid from Dish on these sites, and they wanted the money. They wanted the capital.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good possibility, but
they're pretty broke,
right?
I guess at the end of the day, I guess that's why
they can't pay their vendors.
Telling me we're only gaining 1.4% more cell coverage off of Sprint nationally.
Yep. True.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even, unless you're in an area that just had no T-Mobile service, you're part of the 1%.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the money part. You were just saying something about the money part. Here's the money part. Their stock is $24 today. It has pummeled since the onset of the crisis. Of course, everybody's tanking, But they had enough cash to pay for Boost and pay off the $1.1 billion in debt. Now, they got capital markets. It says here $2 billion maturing in June 2021. So that's going to be an extra $2 billion they're going to be able to add to this $10 billion here. And let's see. And then they got another $2 billion that's maturing in 2022. So, and of course they're saying that's still more challenging, but they still got some revenue. Plus they got the Boost income. If they can keep the customers from not leaving and churning because of how skunky is in some markets, and they bought Ting, which is going to help them with a little bit more income. And I also heard a rumor that they're looking to buy 2 more things. There's 2 more things that they're getting ready to buy. So I don't know what they're going to buy, but I heard there's 2 more things they're going to buy. So that's the thing with Dish. So Dish is actively trying to get another.
They're trying to buy up some prepaid and regional carriers to bolster their portfolio.
Exactly, which is a smart deal. It's a smart deal thing to do.
Hey, it's the only way you get more customers these days.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. You got to have a subscriber base. That's where you get your income. So.
The one thing I was going to say, which it'll never happen, but if someone can bid on US Cellular and convince them to sell, dude, you just made a killer.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what everybody's saying in the chat here. Let's see. If they turn off my account because I was wrong, then you ain't getting my business. That's what I did. I left US Cellular. I left. Yep, you're right. Let's see. Here's a question for you, Tim. I don't know if you saw it or not.
How do I return a phone to T-Mobile? You just go back to just go to any retail store.
Heard rumors that Boost will turn off service when you go over 35 gigabytes, and then the throttling ends. They turn it back on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, when Dish took over,
real hard cap.
Yeah, when Dish took over, the network access for Boost changed because they no longer have their own network. Before, when it was Sprint owned, they had the Sprint network. Now, they're going to be operating on the T-Mobile network. It's cheaper for Dish to sell you 35 gigs than 2G. It costs them less money than to give you 35 gigs and then deprio. Right? So they're literally saving money. That plan that they're selling, I think it's for what, $50 or $60. It probably costs them 35. If they were to give you deprio, it would probably cost them 40 or 45 to show you the difference in the wholesale price. So they're in the business to make a profit. and that's where they took their, they took from customers.
You're so right,
Yep.
Maverick. No carrier will shut off the service, but they can throttle you to 2G, 3G, which feels like it's turned off.
Oh no,
Exactly.
they have plans where you're
you-
cut off.
And
I was
I'm
gonna
going to actually
say,
talk
I've-
about that here in a minute. I got.
So I was
some-
going to say, I can talk from experience. So if you wanted to pull up Cell Mapper, Ricky, and look at like either Lewisburg, North Carolina, or Franklinton, North Carolina, your only option is U.S. Cellular. It doesn't matter what carrier you have; that's your only choice. If Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile sees you
What's the zip code?
consecutively in that area, oh God,
I don't know if the city will pull up or not.
it should. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
What
But
city?
if any, Lewisburg, North Carolina. But yeah, if any of the carriers see you excessively roaming, they're only going to allow that for 3 months, and they're going to shut you off completely. Your account's going to be deactivated. You'll no longer be able to come back to that carrier for service for
Oh yeah, we
120
looked
days.
this up the other day on my live.
Yeah, there is nothing out there.
Yeah, it looks like there's
I
mountains
mean,
right here.
nothing. It's not. It's literally flat plains. But yeah, there's nothing out
Oh,
there.
these little things here are mountain peaks.
There's no mountains there.
He's been there.
Maybe they're hill peaks. Maybe they're fake
So
mountains.
Lewisburg, North Carolina is 30 minutes, or excuse me, it is 1 hour outside of Raleigh. Going
And-
north into Virginia.
Let's see what Verizon has there. I think if I remember right, Verizon had a little bit, yeah, but still in the middle here. This road here is not even covered at all.
There's nothing. U.S. Cellular has it though.
Oh, U.S. Cellular. Okay, let's go to U.S. Cellular. Here we go. U.S. Cellular is right below it here. Okay, it's right next to them. Well, there's still no, it's not mapped here. We don't know if it's really anything there.
U.S. Cellular has almost flawless coverage through there.
Through here? So they
Yeah.
got tower. Okay. But look at this.
It's
They got
all,
band 5 there. Got band 12 here, 5 here, 12 here.
Yeah, it's
12
all
here.
low band.
So,
That's how you get coverage without capacity.
and then you go to Verizon, they got more bands. Look at this. Say they got more. And then when you go to AT&T, you got a couple more bands there. Some of
So
this
it's
might not
just
be mapped. That's the bad thing about Cell Mapper. If you got an Apple device, it won't map it. It only maps it with Android, so that makes it kind of hard. And since 40% of the USA people have Apple products, then
Yeah.
40% of this is not going to be mapped.
I
So,
swear to
Carlo-
God, if I hear one more thing about an iPhone,
Carlos told me how to use Find My iPhone.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You,
That's funny.
who thought it was a good idea to make it so Find My iPhone requires
Silva!
you
Yep.
to share your location in iMessage?
oh, they've had that for a while. Google has that too.
Yeah, but I can go on to a Google. If I'm signed into Gmail, I can Google.
Hello,
"Where's
Zachary?"
my phone?" And it will ring.
Yep.
Yep. We'll see what happens with Dish. I'm crossing my fingers. We need a good competition.
Also,
But-
Google removed my ability to share my location.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can no longer give a Hangouts message with my position, so people can keep an eye on me while I'm doing a 300-400 mile drive.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna get ready and hop out. I'm gonna hop in the live chat, but I'm walking in the house and spend some
Okay,
time with the
buddy.
wife. All right,
All
y'all.
right,
y'all
thanks
have
for
a good
popping
night.
on, buddy.
Yeah,
Stay
Timbo.
safe.
Yeah, anytime.
Skunk Ape says T-Mobile gets 15,000 sites, Dish gets 25. Well, how do you know that, Skunk Ape? Are
Right.
you climbing all those towers?
Yeah,
Have you been eating antennas?
What is that avatar? That picture? That's
I
nuts.
don't know. That looks kind of evil, don't it?
Yeah.
Looks like he's got bad breath, too. It's some decaying antenna parts and fiber. Look, there's fiber in his teeth. See it?
Jesus, dude.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Caleb said T-Mobile. Skunk Ape has been listening to Caleb. Oh, jeez.
What's up, Zach?
All right, let's see here. Spread 40,000 sites. Yeah. All right. So T-Mobile won't even prove that much here. Yeah. Dump skunk. Go to AT&T, Verizon. Unless it happens to be good in your area. I mean, I'm sure, we're all picking on T-Mobile a lot because of their deception and lies and all this stuff. But they do have areas that does kind of work good for some companies and stuff. So you just got to check it out for your area and see. You got to go with the best price, the best service in your area. That's what you got to do.
Hey,
With all
unless
them
you're
skunks.
going up to the
Raccoons.
mountains here, T-Mobile and Verizon are basically the same.
Yeah. All right, so get through these chat here. I'll go to the next topic here. I got to try to hurry up because some people are complaining my live streams are so long and they're boring. So I got to hurry up. And I got to crack more skunk ape jokes. That way it's not so boring. Check out Hayesville, North Carolina. Okay, we'll do that real quick. Let's see.
This is gonna turn into the Cell Mapper hour.
I know this is gonna turn into a 4-hour episode. I know. All right, see Hayesville.
I'm not going to be around for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So are we going to be talking about MVNO networks or something?
Yeah. Sure are. Okay.
I mean, we already talked about Dish, so
Yeah, we talked about Dish.
that's a big
Hayes.
T-Mobile.
Oh, I forgot the S.
MVNO.
Hayesville. Okay, there we go. Just show them Hayesville.
Well,
There's Hayesville.
After that, I'll tell you about a T-Mobile AT&T and
All right, there's
MVNO,
Hayesville. That's
start complaining
AT&T.
about them.
All right, here's Skunky. Wow, that's pretty skunky. Wow, that's a lot of red there. Oh yeah, for you guys who don't know what the red means, yeah, no signal. It's pinging the tower, but there's hardly going to be any data transfer. So you got to be green or better to really get a good.
You might get a call in the red.
Yeah, you might get a call.
You can get calls in these reds
Mm,
in some
maybe.
places.
I don't know. Skunk apes get off my
It might
tower.
sound like that. Yeah.
Hey, it sounds like you're calling me in Longmont with your AT&T line.
Oh, there's Sprint. Oh, look at there. Oh, nice. All right, let's see how Verizon is here. Verizon. Let's see how Verizon is. Verizon.
Look at here, buddy.
Oh, wow. Look at Verizon. I mean, they got some skunky areas too, but still there.
That's why
some...
a phone with a really good
Pull
cellular
up
modem
US
is important.
Cellular.
Yeah, US Cellular's right next to it. I'm going to do that next. Not much better. This is still kind of dead over here. Looks like there's only like a couple towers there. Now, you got to remember, this could not be mapped too, sometimes. See, Cell Mapper is only going to show you if it's been mapped. If it's never been mapped, then of course it's not going to be. So yeah, here, everybody, make sure you have Cell Mapper in your Android phones. And if you don't have an Android phone, get rid of your Apple so you can do Cell Mapper.
I throw up Cell Mapper when I'm doing longer drives outside of my regular market.
Oh boy.
So
let's see, birthday cake breath. Yeah, cardboard and fake icing. Apple sucks. A device overpriced. Oh, yeah.
That actually sounds
support
right,
unlocked
Mike.
devices unless they support voice. Well, that's a normal thing. Voice over LTE is the thing. All this other old technology.
Also, voice
CDMA is old.
So, Ricky, voice over LTE has been a standard for about 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, Sprint was the last one to actually do it.
So
Yeah.
basically saying that
And it took T-Mobile a while to get on board with it too.
Yeah, but basically saying, T-Mobile will only take an unlocked device if it takes voice over LTE.
Yeah.
Also says you can't join their network if you don't have access to band 66.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's enough. We got Skunk Ape Coon in the house. He wants to eat T-Mobile standalone panels.
What's
So-
Yeah,
up with pictures,
boy,
dude?
Knock yourself out there.
So basically, if a phone does not
This is
have
the mobile name. What we call douchebag mobile. What?
So basically,
Okay. All
if
right.
your phone does not have voice over LTE,
Yes, Nextel's already here.
you're
The new Nextel, anyways.
you're not
Best event. Yep. That's,
Getting
I
a
agree with that statement.
experience.
Better than 18.2 doesn't.
Yeah, you
get
gotta
away
have
with
it, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
So
All right, so let's talk about this.
basically, your phone has to be at least 5 years old for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so this just came out a couple weeks ago. I don't know if anybody's talked about it on any of the channel. I'm sure all the thousands of videos that people put out everywhere has already talked about this, but just in case some of my viewers have not seen this, I don't even know if you did this, SMT. I haven't seen it, so. But did you know that Snapdragon 875G has been leaked?
So that's official then, because we had rumor of this about a month ago.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it's
I
going to be
tweeted-
the first 5 nanometer EUV node, which I don't even know what that is, but
so Pete, is it going to be really small?
yeah,
No, that's
the 865 is 7 nanometers. So
That's
5
the distance.
nanometer is the distance between leads in the core or the height of the chips within the core. So it can be smaller, but typically when you go into lower nanometer sizes,
right,
they're just adding more stuff to the die.
and also 5 nanometers is the space exactly between the teeth of a skunk ape.
So it's
That's
not
why the
gonna
fiber gets stuck in there.
be the same size as the previous one, but you're going to get more performance and more features on the same surface area.
Yeah, and it's a SoC, which means a single onboard chip, so it's all mixed in together. All right, so here's what they say here. So they're going to start actually maybe making them in Q4 2020, so they'll come in phones 2021. So it looks like here it's also going to have the X60 modem in it. Yeehaw! So there you go. A leak roadmap image uploaded by Weibo user, mobile chip expert, shows existence of Snapdragon 875G. Surprisingly, the image shows they'll be made by Samsung's 5 nanometer EUV node at the start of the year. That's awesome. Look at that. Oh, here's the leaky thing here. Look at that. Look right here. 765G. You there? 720G. It's kind of hard to make these out. 875G over here. First quarter 2021. Look, 735G is coming out also. That must be a mid-range chip. And what's this one down here? 435G. So that must be a entry level.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So figure I'd show everybody that. So we got some promising news. Real layer cake 5G standalone coming out next year. And I'm sure this is going to be in the chip of, I don't know what phone's going to be coming out next year. I mean, it's still kind of early to be talking about phones next year when we don't even have the iPhone 12 out yet. And I also heard rumors that the X60 chip is going to be in it. So if
maybe
it is,
maybe only the Max model.
that's a possibility. But if they were smart, they would put it in all of them. Because it's kind of silly to have just one phone that can actually do layer cake, as Neville calls it.
Yeah, but you don't want your base model to be 1200.
Well, that's true. That's what drives me crazy with this technology and phone and stuff. You know, I mean, the low end phones are just going to be like 3-4 year old technology. It's not even going to be current. So why even make it 5G? Why don't you just keep it as 4G? Right?
In some situations, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they should just make just the flagships 5G for right now, until the prices come down.
Well, with Apple, all their phones are flagship.
Oh, they are?
For the SEs.
Okay. All right, so then here we got this. Let's talk about this. We got, before we go into the MVNOs, I want to talk about this. This is very important. This is called, oh, wait a minute. I actually put this on a spreadsheet so it's easier to read. Yeah, I put it on here. Here. Data deprioritization versus throttling. What's the difference? And the reason I want to talk this before I even jump to the MVNOs is because just about all the MVNOs
use this.
They use this. And so everybody's saying, well, go prepaid MVNO. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. You get a better deal. It's cheaper. But your quality of service is going to go down. So because it makes no sense
You
for a
get what
company
you pay
to sell
for.
the service to a competitor and give you the same exact thing. It's just like saying, okay, I have this pizza here. I got pepperoni, extra cheese, and I got all the goodies on it, right? And then I'm going to turn around and sell it to you. So why would I sell it to you for the same price when I have the same pizza? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell you discount price, but I'm going to eat the pepperonis off and the extra cheese off and just give you the rest and say, here you go. Here's your pizza at half price. Now you could turn around and if you want to put pepperoni and extra cheese on it again and then sell it to everybody, that's your choice. But we're just selling to you the crust and the sauce and a little bit of cheese. That's all you're getting from us. That's how the carriers do to these MVNOs. They give you less service than what they have. So that's why it's always better to go with the main carrier's prepaid, because you're going to have a better quality service and prioritization and all that good stuff. So with this data deprioritization versus throttling, what's the difference? When it comes to data, we want fast speeds to match our fast-paced world. Yeah, everybody wants to go fast, and yet they buy an iPhone. Unfortunately, our data speeds are often subject to throttling and deprioritization. Both data deprioritization, which means speed reduction during network congestion, and throttling, which means the dramatic slowing of data. Who's that sound like? Result in slower data speeds, but there are differences between. So, all right, data deprioritization occurs when a phone carrier temporarily reduces the data speeds of the specific customers during times of heavy network congestion in order to free up network space for those who have consumed less data that month. Typically, the customers who experience deprioritization are those who have reached their data deprioritization threshold for the whole month. This threshold varies between the carriers and plans. For example, T-Mobile's Magenta plan includes a data deprioritization threshold of 50 gigabytes of data, meaning you have to consume 50 gigabytes of data, which is a huge amount. But for some people, that's like in 2 weeks because they watch Netflix and this and that, and they just eat it up fast because they don't have Wi-Fi at home, because Comcast and Spectrum and Cox are all just overpriced and expensive and everything. So people just use their Wi-Fi on their phone to support all their movie habits and stuff. Before your speeds are potentially slowed during times of heavy network traffic, which is usually during the day, the morning rush, the evening rush, and when people get home, they're watching TV before they go to sleep. And then usually around midnight to like 6 a.m., there's nobody hardly using it. So it's like nothing hardly being used at all. Just the skunk apes are out there and the raccoons eating out of the dumpsters and all that. That's the only ones that's out that time of night. So, and then your night shift workers. So it's very, very low usage. The key word here is potentially, since exceeding your deprioritization threshold doesn't necessarily mean automatically slower speeds, just depends on how crowded the network is at a given time. Since MVNOs operate on one or more of major networks, okay, so we all know who the major networks are. Verizon's a major network, and what you call a major network is somebody that actually owns the license for the bands, and they paid to have their equipment deployed on structures, whether it's a tower site, a monopole, which is just a steel pole with antennas on it, or a building, like a tall building, like a 4 or 5 story building. They'll put the antennas on top of that. They'll put them on top of water towers. They like doing that too. Like there's a water tower, they'll put the antennas on it. So they put the stuff on the structure. So that's what a carrier is, or major network is. So you got Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. Well, no more Sprint. Here, let's go like this. We want to do this right here. Whoops! What the hell just happened? Went too far over. And there. Rest in peace, Sprint. May be deprioritizing their customers' data speeds in favor of customers on their main network. See, it's going to do no good to sell the service cheaply for these other companies to resell it to everybody, the MVNOs, which stands for Mobile Network Virtual Operator. Because guess what? If all those people are data hogs, then what's that going to do to your customers? Your postpaid customers, your own prepaid customers. If they get slowed down because of all the data hogs, then people are going to be mad and they're going to leave. So therefore, the main carriers have to protect their main customers. So they use all this deprioritization and throttling to make sure everybody else's quality service is lower. So what happens when your data gets throttled? Throttling refers to the dramatic slowing of data so much that it's essentially unusable beyond the most basic of smartphone tasks. Instead of charging overage fees, cell phone carriers throttle customers' data speeds when their customer has reached specific data limit indicated on the plan. There are also small carriers that can throttle speeds of unlimited customers who have reached a certain data threshold that month, meaning the customer won't have any access to high speeds till the next billing cycle. And that's pretty frustrating. Or you pay them some more money, say, hey, I want 2 more gigs for $30. That's what they do. They nickel and dime you to death. This is different from deprioritization, which is just temporary until the congestion clears up. So both throttling and deprioritization may result in slower data speeds. The difference between the two is significant and something you should be aware of when you're shopping for a cell phone plan. The distinction is especially important for heavy data users. So if you're a heavy data user, you do a lot of video and music streamers, or your social media junkie. Is that what we are, SMT? Are we? Oh, he bailed out. Oh, he's still in the chat here. So, and Pete, are we just social media?
I'm not
junkies?
a social media junkie.
Oh, okay. I didn't think I was a social media junkie either, but that's what they're labeling this as.
User, but a lot of it's doing system stuff over a hotspot.
Yeah, exactly. So the major difference here, data throttling is related to why your data speeds are slowed and for how long. When your network's too busy to handle all the server traffic, instead of slowing every single customer down, they often slow down the heavy users who have reached their deprioritization threshold of that billing cycle, freeing up the network for others. This is the only temporary, and your speed should return once the congestion clears. Throttling, however, is unrelated to network congestion. It occurs automatically when you have used your data buckets for the month. Once your data is throttled, you experience glacially slow speeds, usually like 2G speeds or like under a megabits, and sometimes less than that. It's like 200 or 300 kilobits. Basically, when they throttle you, it's just like having T-Mobile speeds for the remainder of your billing cycle, which can be a headache, to say the least. Data deprioritization versus throttling, which is better? Well, it just depends. Depends on what kind of user you are. Let's see here. So that pretty much does that. Now this says here that throttling is only done after you go over a certain thing, but that's not entirely true, because they have another thing that's called QoS, which is quality of service, and which means each tier of service on a carrier is assigned a QCI number, which is quality of service class indicator. That's what that is. So when you hear people talking about QCI of this or that or whatever, that's what that means. Now here's how they do it here. Now, as you see, this thing called packet delay budget. Okay, what is packet delay? Pete, tell us what packet delay is.
They basically put a millisecond time between when you set up a packet on your antenna and it gets picked up by the cellular antenna.
Mm-hmm.
So based on your rank, you could be getting rejected 200, 300 milliseconds between every single packet, which makes your network experience feel lethargic at best and non-existent at worst.
Right. So to put this in kind of analogy so you can kind of see, okay, let's say that you're in the city, okay? You decide to drive through the city to get to a point A to point B. Now, when you drive through the city, what do you have? You have red lights, okay? So let's say you're going 35 miles an hour, then you got a red light. You got to stop. Then you go 35 miles an hour, and you got another red light. You got to stop.
Ricky,
So
you're missing the bicyclists cutting them off.
Well, yeah, that too. So basically, when you do that, you're stop and go traffic. So that's what this packet delay is. It's stop and go. And what it does is it takes longer for you to get across the city to where you got to go. But guess what? If you have an interstate somewheres where you can just jump on the interstate, there's no red lights. You just go on and you go a constant, steady speed, and you get there faster. That's basically what the packet delay is, and the QCI does.
If you're in the market where deer like running around the interstate.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Then of course you got the road rage you got to worry about and all that kind of stuff too.
Or people who like flipping cars instead of changing lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's called a network outage when somebody basically flips a car on the highway when they're trying to change a lane.
Right. Yeah. So what packet delay does? Packet delay makes your ping go higher. Now, what a ping is, because everybody may not know what a ping is or latency is. Now, that's the time it takes for data to travel from one place to another and back. So it's like round trip. Okay, so it's just like a round trip. You're going to go to the grocery store. You get in your car, you drive to the grocery store, you get your food, you get in the car, and then you drive back home. Well, that trip will take you 20 minutes, depending on how fast you shop and how close the store is. But now, what might take it longer to go to the store is, guess what? You have to go around. There's a detour. The road's closed. So you got to go around. So it makes the trip longer. And that's the same thing with this. So basically, it just depends on how much traffic's out there. And whenever you have packet delay, it's going to make your time go. So the higher the ping is, the longer it takes for the data to go there and back, which means slower speeds and your video won't be as good. So when your ping is lower, it's faster trip and you got a better quality of service. So with MVNOs, they are set to QCI, or it's a type of throttling. It's a soft throttling is basically what it is they slow your packets continuously. So when you do a speed test with some of these MVNOs, you'll notice a ping of like 50, 60, 70 milliseconds. Whereas if you're on AT&T prepaid direct, sometimes your ping will be like 19, 20 seconds. It'll be just as good as being postpaid. So, and that's how you could tell sometimes when you're being pinged or throttled, is your ping is higher than what it should be, because most networks ping is right around 20 to 50 milliseconds is what most networks are. So
if you're a postpaid customer and you run a speed test and you notice your ping's up around 100, you basically have a bad connection to the antenna unless you're delinquent with your bill or over their arbitrary SWIFT cap.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so now that we know what throttling is and deprioritization is, now when we go into the next part of going through these mobile network virtual operators, we can see which ones do the heavy this or that and kind of that. So here's a list. So just a guess, how many MVNOs do you think there was in 2016? That's when this wiki was actually done, 2016. It's a few years behind, so this is not exact, of course. Well, of course, it says here there's 36 million subscribers. I think there's a lot more than that now. I think it's definitely higher than that. But I counted them. I went through here and counted every one of these. All right. There's 113 MVNOs in 2016. Now, since then, some of these are probably bankrupt or broke or gone, and then there's also some new ones that come out. So, but since it's always a changing thing, it's not really possible for me to give you an exact thing until they update this to 2020. When they do that, I don't know. Now, there's another website here that's actually did that. It's called bestmvno.com. So we'll briefly go through this, and I'll show you each carriers that got that. But I just want to go through this and kind of show you how it's laid out in the organization of this. So basically, you have here, you got the company, whatever name they pick. You got the host network, which is the carrier that they made the deal with to use their network towers and infrastructure. Then the market. What type of market? Phone service. It's either a yes or a no, because some of these only provide data. You got modem service, which would be like for a hotspot. I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
Yep.
And then BYOD means bring your own device. So they really ain't into selling phones, but they just have SIM cards. So when you become a customer, they send you a SIM card, you stick it in your existing phone, which you have to go on their website, put the IMEI number in there to confirm that it's compatible, because not all phones are compatible with all systems, as we all know, because of the old SIM card way, CDMA versus GSM. That's the old legacy technology that's embedded in certain SIM cards and actual ROMs of the phones. So now we're getting away from that. So a lot of phones now are multi-ROMs. You stick the phone or the SIM card in, it'll actually pick whichever carrier it matches with it. So an example of that is a Note 9. You buy a Note 9 that's unlocked, you put a Sprint card in it, it'll actually boot up with Sprint. If you put a T-Mobile card in it, it'll boot up with T-Mobile.
I'm actually not a fan of doing that.
Yeah. But some phones can do that, and then some phones does all carriers. And, it's just kind of a generic thing. It doesn't have a specific
Pixel.
ROM. Yeah, like a Pixel. And then you got, here's the deals with the unlimited fast data, and then you got unlimited slow data. So it shows you all the caps and stuff. And then 5G, whether it's yes or no. Of course, right now nobody really has 5G because it's not really
5G. You got
5G won't be 5. 5G is just a symbol right now. It's all it is. It's not really,
you have
so no carrier yet has standalone 5G. I don't care what anybody says about T-Mobile; they're liars. It's not true standalone.
We have not tested all their proposed markets. They may not be lying about that one place in Lisbon.
One place in Lisbon, that's true. Yeah, but even still, what good is it to have a 10 millisecond ping and you got 20 download, and then it's only for a 3-mile circle around the tower? That's just stupid. So you shouldn't even have a standalone 5G network until you have a true nationwide coverage of new radio 5G on every single tower site you own. That's what AT&T is doing right now. Every single tower site that AT&T has now is getting upgraded. Not 1 out of every 6 like T-Mobile's doing. Every single tower is being updated. They're putting DSS on all the bands. So when they turn their standalone on, it's going to be band 2, band 4, band 5, band 12, band 66, and band 30. It's going to be all those bands are going to be new radio, 100% standalone, and it's going to be incredible speeds. But I'm telling you guys right now, AT&T is going to have standalone system in 2021, early spring. It's going to be gigabit speeds. Mark my words.
The truck.
What's that?
You said DSS.
Yeah, DSS. Yeah, so, dynamic spectrum sharing, which means it splits the band half and half. What's that?
It doesn't split the band half and half. It does load balancing.
Yeah, it load balances. It splits it in half. There's LTE and 5G, and then it load balances, just like you said. Yeah.
Ricky, it doesn't do half. That is assuming that half the customers in the market are communicating with the band on a 5G modem, and half the customers are on TNT. The thing
you're super analogizing my words, Pete.
The thing with
you know what I mean. Let me rephrase the answer then. It's capable of having half LTE service and half NR service on the same spectrum. And you're right, it does do load balancing. It changes per the users. Absolutely. That's where the word dynamic comes in, because it's always changing. Dynamic spectrum sharing.
Another thing to remember for those who don't know is you're not going to get even if there are 0 5G people on that antenna, you're not going to get 100% of what the LTE had to offer. You're going to have a slight trade-off. But
a trade-off.
Yeah, you're not going to hit 100% capacity on either 5G or LTE with DSS.
That's the whole purpose of it, Pete.
You're capped at 95. You need overhead.
Well, I mean, the efficiency for the whole band is like 20. There's a 20% loss, and the reason that is that's for offloading and unloading of data traffic, because you have to have a buffer zone so LTE phone can jump on, and then another 5G can jump on at the same time, and then it load balances also. And it's always changing. So as people leave and people come on, it actually moves the center partition, as you would say, moves back and forth. Yeah.
In general, you'll get a better 5G experience with those.
Yeah.
But
because with DSS, you're going to get the whole spectrum. Like if there's 20 megahertz of spectrum, you're going to get the whole thing.
5G.
If you have an LTE phone, you're going to have 20 megahertz of LTE.
Well, not 18 to 19.
Yeah.
Register is 20. So
right.
The DSS will be more impactful for the ones connecting to it on New Radio 5G. But
absolutely.
If the entire market's on LTE, you might get a slight downgrade.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to make a lot more efficiency. And what's weird is T-Mobile is not going to use it. So, that's why they're going to be behind, because they're not using it.
T-Mobile's going to use it in the markets that they got CBRS licenses in.
Yeah, in some of the urban areas, yeah, they're going to use it.
But in general,
they have to use it in urban areas.
They do. In general, T-Mobile's stand with the non-urban is they have enough 71 and 41 that they can give half of 41 to 5G, and everybody will have, a quality experience. It's not going to be the fastest, but it's going to be quality.
Yep. Well, hopefully we get quality with them. Hopefully so.
Hey, that's the idea, and that's what they said.
The biggest problem they're having with their quality issues is their backhaul. They have a very, very deficit in their backhaul. So you can build the best tower ever, but if you don't have the backhaul to support it, then it's not going to perform good.
I'm hoping they brought up the Sprint backhaul in those areas where.
Oh yeah, we can only hope that they do that.
I know when they bought Layer 3, they got some really good Washington D.C. backhaul, and I could tell the difference even on their band 60.
Oh really?
The bottom of a hotel.
Well, that's definitely some hope.
So
all right, now here's the other category: tethering, phone, and hotspot. Whether it has that available, then you got international calling, because some prepaid plans have international calling that you can get, and then you got native Wi-Fi calling. And then you have notes, and this just basically tells you certain things about it. So if you go down through here and you look at all these nice, pretty colors, usually the no's are the red and the greens are the yes. So it's how they highlight it. But look at all these carriers. Oh boy, you have so many choices for MVNOs out there. So yeah, you really have to go out and do your study and just see. So let's go and find something in here that. Let's look at US Mobile. US Mobile.
Look at Altice.
You got Visible right here too. Okay, let's just look at Visible. It's a Verizon.
Altice. Hit up Altice.
Okay. Well, Altice is actually a cable company that has MVNO service, kind of like Comcast and the rest of them.
But Comcast is Verizon. Altice is AT&T and T-Mobile.
Well, it says here AT&T and Sprint. Well, see, remember, this is 2016, so some things on this thing has probably changed since this is not current. I don't know why nobody's went into this wiki for this and actually updated it to 2020, because a lot of stuff has changed since 2016.
I could update a few of those, but I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah, so why would you do that? Yeah, and most information on wiki is not paid stuff. It's just user submitted stuff, right?
Yeah, but the reason why I'm not getting paid for it is something like this. It's beneficial to be somewhat pedantic.
Right.
And I'm too busy writing reports where I have to be somewhat pedantic.
Mm-hmm. And the bad thing about this here, this column here doesn't go with you when you go down here. So you just kind of got to remember which column is what. So we'll do this here. All right, so it's personal service, phone service, yes. Modem service, no. BYOD, yes. Unless the phones are bought at a retail location.
You can buy them.
This shows you how old this is. Look, it says iPhone SE 6 and above, Galaxy S9 series, and a Motorola E6. And then unlimited, it says yes when not roaming off of Sprint, but tethering speeds limited to 600 kilobits. So 600 kilobits is like a half a megabit per second, which is very slow.
That's less than the random 3G pockets I've found in mobile while driving.
And then unlimited slow data. See, you got two types of data. Do you have unlimited fast data, or do you have unlimited slow data? Here, yes, you have unlimited slow data. So if it says unlimited slow data, yes, it's kind of like, you might as well just say it's no, because slow data is like doing nothing. It's like when you do a speed test, it says can't connect to the network, or you try to pull up YouTube and it says can't connect right now.
It's enough to get a Google Maps.
Yeah, it's slow. Yeah, it's slowly coming up. Basically, this slow data, like 600 kilobits per second, is only good for making a phone call. Well, barely making a phone call. I mean, it's not going to be a very good phone call.
Dude.
And then text messaging.
Top quality voice on a cell phone caps out at 56 kilobits a second.
Okay, so as long as you can maintain a steady 600 kilobits, you should be okay.
That's enough for HD voice.
Okay. So that shows you right there that the data, voice over LTE, is very efficient. International? Yes, they actually have an international plan. So it shows you the details there.
They still do.
Wi-Fi calling, it says yes. Now here on the notes, it says CDMA is not supported, only LTE. Thus, non-Wi-Fi voice is voice over LTE. Reporter uses Sprint as primary and roams on AT&T when needed.
Voice over LTE is 36 to 48 kilobits a second.
Okay. And then data speeds limited to 128 kilobits when roaming. Ooh, ouch.
AT&T.
Yeah. Also automatically connects to Altice Wi-Fi access points when in range. Service then provided over Wi-Fi, not 4G. $10 a month discount for Optimum and Suddenlink customers. So as you see, some of these MVNOs that are cable companies, they force you to connect to Wi-Fi systems that they own throughout their coverage area.
And with Altice, if no Wi-Fi is available right now, they only do T-Mobile 71 roaming in some markets.
All right. Then we go over here to, let's see.
You're paying 12 though.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's pick another one here.
Do Visible.
Here's Visible. Okay, so Visible, they use the Verizon network. It's personal. Yes. Which I forget what column this is. Which column is that? I don't remember. I think that's voice calling. And then this is for hotspot.
Yep.
Okay, this, yes, but only iPhone 6 and up. A few phones from Google, Motorola, and Samsung. Yes, no usage-based throttling, but on phone and tethering, speeds normally capped at 5 megabits per second. So it's got a speed cap on it. As of 2019, for a limited time, new and existing customers receive uncapped on-phone speeds for lifetime of their accounts. Tethering speeds remain capped. Typical download speeds of 5 to 12 megabits and upload of 2 to 5. So you see speed caps. However, when the network gets congested, your data could slow up for a bit. But this is common for any person on any carrier. So there you go.
That's actually reasonable for the cost.
Yeah. And then, yes, during early access period, speeds capped at 5. Only one device may connect to the mobile hotspot at a time. Wow, that's a pretty big limitation.
They actually upped that to 5.
Oh, they did? Okay, there you go. All right, so it says here, owned by Verizon. So actually, Visible Prepaid is actually owned by Verizon. Not toll-free customer service number provided in an app chat, text, Facebook, or Twitter, callbacks request. Let's see, speeds jumping between 29 and 10 due to common carrier practice of deprioritization. MVNO customer traffic below direct customer traffic in very congested areas like Washington, D.C. Some have seen speeds as low as 0.2 megabits. So that's 200 kilobits is what that is. That's pretty
worse than the AT&T roaming on Altice.
Mm-hmm. And even below other Verizon MVNOs. Visible Connect assists nonprofit technology startups. So there. All right. So we got this up here. So let's go to the chat here. I know I haven't been, I'm really behind in the chat here. Let me see if I can catch up in the chat. See if anybody has any questions. I know It's going to be lots of questions here. And of course, look here, we're hour and 30 minutes in here, and we're not even done yet. So just have to hurry up here to keep everybody happy. The nice thing about it is if you have to leave the stream early, and you can always watch it on the replay, or if you missed the whole thing, and you don't have to sit there and watch it for an hour and 30 minutes. You can just do it in chunks. You can do it in 30. You can do 3 30-minute chunks, and then you're all caught up. Let's see. Now here's the fun part. Trying to find my place where I've already clicked on. So see, this is way back here. So
there was an option where it would keep your place.
okay, here. I know. I clicked it. I remember all these skunks and raccoons in here, so I know I did this. Okay, so let me just start right here. Now look at this. This is 9:45, and it's 11:30. There's a lot of chat going on here that I'm behind in. So let me try to quickly catch up here.
For the price.
I'm going to touch on mostly the questions here.
Wait. Visible, good for the price, but some promotions on Verizon proper prepaid will give you the same price.
That's not what it says. It says, what do you think about Visible?
That's what I said. It's good for the
price.
price.
That's your answer to that. Oh, okay. I thought you was reading the question. Okay, got it.
It's good for the price, but sometimes you can get an unlimited Verizon wireless prepaid at the same price.
Mm-hmm. That's what I have. I have Verizon prepaid, and it's good. It's got good low pings. It's fast. It's really good. Very good quality. USO's custom-based 5G rollout inclusive. Okay. All right, let's see. Mainly have US Cellular. Let you roam domestic for long periods of time. Boy, Skunky's pretty knowledgeable about this stuff, man. Must be watching a lot of stuff in here. Getting pretty good. I have a prepaid, unlimited talk text. My phone is only internet connection. Share location with Google Maps. That works good. Joshua says, oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did that already. See, I didn't know.
And that one. But yeah, Michael's correct.
Sprint has 68K LTE sites, but don't know how many of those are on the same tower. Okay. Oh, need to go soon. See, see, the thing is, a lot of people, they have to go to work in the morning, stuff like that. I want to eat. Oh, my God.
Hey, I have to work in the morning myself.
Oh, you do? Okay. Red is low signal, but blank is nothing. Yeah,
seven server upgrades, 4 APC repairs.
It's all fake. I'm fiber full, need panels now. Skunky. Skunk, it's fake fiber. We need triple SIM phones. Well, actually, we have dual SIMs. 2 SIMs.
No, we need triple.
And we have eSIM. I forgot to tell you about that too with Google Fi. The way Google Fi works is it has DUDS. It's dual. What's the U for? Dual. No, it's DS. Dual standby. Dual DSDS. Yeah.
Yeah, DSDS.
It's called dual standby, dual SIM. So you can have one. So what it does is it uses one carrier on the eSIM, which eSIM is an electronic version SIM that you can't take in and out. It's actually built into the phone. And then it has a physical SIM that you can pop in and out. And what it does is it uses both of those. If you're on Sprint, it'll change the Sprint. If you're on T-Mobile, it'll change the T-Mobile. If you don't have either one of them, it'll go into US Cellular's coverage areas. So that's what it does. And now after the merger, I don't know how Google Fi is going to work.
Oh,
I guess it's just going to be just 100%. You know, I mean, you basically lost the whole point of having dual SIM, dual standby, because Sprint's going to be gone. It's just T-Mobile only. So,
it's T-Mobile US Cellular.
Yeah, so it's going to be T-Mobile and US Cellular.
The take of US Cellular.
Uh-oh, he's got tummy aches. Uh-oh. Dish's mobile name will be called Dish. Yeah, see, I already did all these, didn't I? I went too far up. Now I ever had a phone with an 800 or higher. Dish has a douchebag of a CEO. Okay. Let's see. Just heard Google discontinues the Pixel 4 as of today. Zooming that my internet was breaking up on 4G, but when my phone went back to LTE, my Zoom meeting was crystal clear. What a difference between 4G and LTE. Yeah, the thing is, if LTE is congested, there may not be very many people on 4G. So it's possible in some cases, especially with T-Mobile. Because what I did when I was in Las Vegas, you know what I did when I was in Las Vegas when I was at CES?
3G is more open.
I actually forced my phone to go to 4G. Well, which is the 3G version on T-Mobile. And actually, I was having better download speeds on 3G in Las Vegas during CES than I did on LTE, because LTE was just too congested.
Hey, my Pixel 3 XL didn't have too much of an issue there.
Oh, okay. Made me mad. Pixel 4 is the best Android phone on the market. Ooh.
Google discontinued it.
He doesn't really care for Samsung.
I don't either. They have too much bloatware.
Yeah, Samsung is just really, really. I watched the unpacking event and I just wasn't really impressed. It's just.
I mean, I like Samsung hardware.
Yeah,
just everything else they put on there.
I just like the Motorola phone. I like that Motorola Edge Plus. It's just too bad there's display problems. So maybe they'll get that fixed, or that's not an issue anymore later on. Because that Motorola Edge Plus is a really nice phone. Carlos tested out, seems to think it's better than a Samsung. Uh-oh, somebody's disagreeing with me. I have been an MVNO user for many years. Not everyone needs super speed. I have 4 lines at $40 a month. Okay.
That's what David V, that's what I was saying.
If you're a light user and stuff like that, yeah, some of these MVNOs is going to be perfect for you. So if you're not doing tons of video, does a high bandwidth stuff, if you just make phone calls, check your emails, text and stuff like that, you're good to go. So yeah, that's why there's so many options out there, because each option tailors to what you need. And there's even one out there called Consumer Cellular that tailors to the older crowd.
Yeah,
the elderly crowd.
Everybody needs a phone line and a data plan where they can sit on an HD Zoom call for 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, it just depends on what you use your phone. You just use it for just personal use? Are you a business person and you're on Zoom meetings all the time, like you just said? Yeah, you need something that's going to be high performance, a high data load, and fast speeds and stuff. So that's the thing with all this wireless stuff. You know, it just depends on what you need to do and everything. So, and here's what's good about T-Mobile is T-Mobile is not the highest quality network. They have a lot of congestion. They have a lot of issues in a lot of places. But for the most part, if you're a light user, T-Mobile may work just fine for you. As long as you're somewhere where the gaps in coverage is not bad. I mean, if you go down the road and you get a drop call because you're between towers, because T-Mobile doesn't have capacity, or I mean density very well. So if you go between the towers, you drop your call. What do? You just redial the person back. Oh, sorry, my call dropped, and you continue your conversation. Now, for the price you're paying for the service, if you're okay with that, then by all means, knock yourself out. But some people can't have that. Like if you're on a conference call or you're talking business clients, you can't have drop calls because then they're going to think, yeah.
I'm a T-Mobile user, and I'm on conference calls and business calls. My entire market, I don't drop.
Okay. So, over in Colorado.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, and you pay for what you need.
That's it. Exactly.
And I'm getting what I'm paying for.
Oh wow.
I'm getting what I'm paying for, and they're giving me what I need.
Very true. Throttling is not good. Well, it just depends.
It depends on how.
If you never reach the 50 gigabit cap on data, then you'll never experience throttling. But if you go 100 gigabits every month, then yeah, it's going to affect you. So
I've gone over 60 gigs on my phone without any throttling.
Oh, okay. So that's good.
Business plan.
Okay, heck, I'd be fine with 2 megabits per second. Yeah, see, that's going to be working fine for a lot of people.
Hey, in general, I'm okay with.
Hello, Bionic Scoop. How you doing? All right, good night, Troy. Thanks for coming in here. I'm sure he's probably gone already, but I'm trying to catch up quickly as I can in the chat here. Oh, okay, jitter. Good question, Kathy. All right, jitter means the interruption of data flow. That's what jitter is. I mean, I'm sure there's an exact definition out there, but in the sum, that's an interruption of data flow. So for whatever reason, whether it's forced by the carrier in the throttling process or it's interference from the signal, or you got a poor, it's called RSRP, which is your signal quality. It's your signal report and quality. It just depends. So if you're between two towers and your signal's kind of low, then you do a speed test, your jitter is going to be high because there's going to be a lot of gaps in the data flow. So that's what jitter is.
It's like the millisecond delay we were talking with the
exactly
low quality, except actually, wait, no, isn't that the measure of the millisecond delay?
Well, jitter is measured in a percentage, I think.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
it represents the millisecond delay.
So here, I'll just pull up the definition right here. All right, jitter is also referred technically as packet delay. Yep, that's what we said. All right, pertains to the variance in time delay in milliseconds between data packets over a network. This is typically a disruption in the normal sequence of sending data packets. It also means that there's a fluctuation in the delay of packets as being transferred across the network. A level of delay throughout the transit would fluctuate and could lead to a 50 millisecond delay on a packet transfer. As a result, congestion of networks because of how devices fight for the same bandwidth. That's what they're doing at T-Mobile a lot, fighting for the same bandwidth. Hence, the more it gets congested, the greater the possibility of packet loss will happen. So here's some numbers. Jitter that is below 30 milliseconds. Packet loss that is less over 1% of data transfer. Overall network latency of less than 150 megahertz or milliseconds. That's what the above figures show conditions where jitter is acceptable. So if it's below 30 milliseconds, jitter is acceptable. If its packet loss is less than 1%, overall network latency less than 150 milliseconds. So there you go.
So low jitter means your connection's solid and you're not fighting for a connection.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. David says 25 millisecond ping. That's what you get. That's pretty good. That's a very good ping. Is there any more Sprint MVNOs left, or are they all now T-Mobile? Well, that's the thing. This thing just closed, so we don't know how all the agreements are going to go yet. It's just going to take some time.
Currently, they're being honored, but they have a period that until a date that I don't know off the top of my head to renegotiate the MVNO plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Zachary too. It can be gigabit speeds, like what AT&T is going to do, because basically there's not going to be very many phones out there. So if you got just a small percentage, like 25% 5G phones, and you got 75% 4G phones, then yeah, it's going to be able to pretty much do that. But now if you get it to where you get a whole bunch, it's like all 5G phones, then yeah, that whole spectrum is going to be all 100% used. But we're not going to see 100% 5G, the real 5G for, in
2023, 2025.
We're going to have LTE phones for another 10 years. So in 2030, we're still going to have LTE phones. And then just maybe then they might be saying, oh, okay, well, in 2031, we're going to shut down LTE. Just like they're doing now with the 3G.
I'm going to be assisting finalizing the 6G state.
Yeah, I really hope the FCC steps in and makes some standards, because this transition from 4G to 5G has been the worst, confusing, stupid thing, and carriers are using it, manipulating it.
Remember the transition between 2G and 3G?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little rough, but see, you got to remember too, data was a big thing back then.
The only reason why 2G to 3G was just a little rough was because we didn't have millions of people using cell phones. If we had the same amount of users now, when we went from 2G to 3G, we would have been in the same exact situation.
Data is up 750% compared to back then.
Just 750%? That seems a little low.
Yeah. It's been increasing that like every year. It's crazy.
So exponentially at 750%. Yeah. That's a lot of Pornhub.
Have to look up the exact things, but But yeah, I know I saw an article where AT&T said that in the past year they've noticed a 750% increase in the past year of data use. That's why they're all scrambling for 5G. Some people are saying we don't need 5G. Well, we do.
need 5G due to the added capacity it provides.
Capacity plus quality of service. Because guess what? If you have all this bandwidth and all this speed, you don't have to deprioritize and you don't have to throttle no more. We can get rid of that. That'll be all old tech out the window. The new thing for 5G standalone system coming out next year, it's going to be called network slicing. So basically, instead of bucket of minutes or bucket of data, basically you're going to get a speed tier. It's going to be speed tiers. All right. So what do you want? You want 5 megabits per second? Oh, okay. Pay us $25 a month. We'll give you that. You're going to get a low ping, low jitter. It's going to be a very quality service. Now, if you're a high user, let's say you want a gigabit speeds. Oh, you want gigabits? Oh, well, pay us $150 a month. Here's your gigabit speeds. So it's going to be speed tier, just like the cable companies.
Per line. So you'll find
per line, exactly.
Really need a gig per line, still paying $200 a line, which the companies want to happen.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you could have one phone on your plan that does 10 meg. Like if you got like grandma, she's in the house, she only needs 5 megabits down, so you pay for the 5. But you got a kid in there that does like mad crazy speed and bandwidth, then you give him the higher price package.
You get the gig per second for the Pornhub.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a sponsor.
All right. Kathy says, am I wrong, but is this the first time it will be standalone with 5G? I mean, 4G always had 3G backup, but doesn't 5G standalone not have 4G backup?
It's going to have a 4G backup.
The non-standalone is basically hybrid. It uses 90% LTE and 10% 5G. That's what non-standalone 5G is. It's just a small part of the network that's been upgraded, not the whole network. Now, when you go to standalone, then it's going to be 100% 5G new radio.
No.
And it's not going to use any LTE no more. It's out the door.
Ricky, you're using the LTE stack on new radio.
A what?
You're using the LTE stack on new radio.
A stack on a radio?
So your data transfer, how that's done on the network level, is going to be comparable to LTE. The biggest difference is the transfer and the capacity. We're going to have fallback LTE service if the 5G tower goes out. So the LTE modems in the phone won't disappear for another 10 or so years.
Well, yeah, the phones are going to have a capability of doing all three modes. It's going to be able to do LTE mode. It's going to be able to do non-standalone mode, which uses part LTE and part 5G. It's going to be able to use that. And then plus it'll have the standalone mode.
Yeah.
But later on in the future, they won't need non-standalone anymore, because once they got DSS deployed and they got plenty of bandwidth, you won't need non-standalone anymore. They can just eliminate that core.
The 4G will still be there for a while.
Yeah, the LTE core will still be there for just all the old devices.
And sometimes the new ones.
Yeah. Can you use CellMapper through browser, therefore not requiring an app? Well, yeah, I can go to CellMapper on my. That's what I'm doing on my computer. I'm going to CellMapper just to look at things. You can look at all the data, but your computer can't upload any data. Now, I can go in there and manually add a tower and manually add stuff. You have to have a login for that, and of course, you got to know the information that you're putting in there too. So the techie kind of people, like network engineers, can actually go in there and add stuff, but they usually don't do that. It's easier just to put the app in your phone and just drive around circles around your area, and then it'll just map it and then upload it.
You throw the iPhone in the dumpster.
Throw the iPhone in the dumpster.
Go out, get a cheap
get your Android.
Android, like the burner phones.
Burner phones.
And you're like, wow, I can actually record data on CellMapper. Good thing I put my 10X Max in the dumpster.
Oh, gosh. Oh shit! But is that different than dual SIM service? Okay.
Is what different than dual SIM?
Yeah. You send that question there without. You probably did that while we was talking a certain thing.
Yeah, so
We talked a whole bunch of stuff, so you have to just let us know what you mean there. Hey, Paul, how you doing there? Let's see. MS says, Ricky, my Google Fi is all U.S. Cellular, T-Mobile, and Sprint all on one physical SIM.
Yep,
Well,
I would say.
Let's see what phone you got. See, but you need a design for Fi phone, the LG G7, then you could, yeah, the DSDS service, like I'm talking about, with the eSIM and the physical SIM, you have to have a design with Fi phone. Yeah, I did leave that out. That's important to know. Yeah, thanks for letting us know that. If you don't have a design for Fi phone, you can actually put 2 SIM cards in there if it has 2 different SIMs, and then you can actually manually switch the SIMs in the phone in the service.
Not quite the same though.
Right. Well, it's just not going to automatically connect. So if you're driving down the road and you got Sprint only, you leave the Sprint service, it's going to say no service. Then what you got to do is you got to manually go in there, switch it to the SIM 1 to T-Mobile, and then bang, it'll pop up and you have service. You go down the road and you lose signal for them, and now you only have U.S. Cellular. You got to do the same thing with that. Well, actually, you can't even. I don't even think. Well, if you got 2 SIMs like that, you got to. You can't do all 3 carriers. You got to pick 2 of them.
So you got the T-Mobile as the anchor one in slot 1.
Yeah.
And then slot 2, you hot
would be
swap
U.S. Cellular.
U.S. Cellular and Sprint based on who's there.
Yep. Google Fi has terrible customer service, but their service is good. Okay. Well, it's only as good as what T-Mobile does out there, or U.S. Cellular. And see, we're in a transition. Sprint's on its way out, so we don't know how that's all going to work out. But T-Mobile will upgrade LTE and hype it up with skunk stink lies. AT&T told us the truth about 5GE.
After Sprint sued them.
And for all of you that don't know what 5GE is on AT&T, it's fake.
It's LTE advanced.
It's 0% 5G new radio. It's 100% LTE.
LTE advanced.
Advanced Pro. That's correct.
So you got the 250 QAM and the 4x4 MIMO and that stuff. And that's only subject to the bands they broadcasted on, which I remember in some markets was not their capacity band.
Mm-hmm. Here's an example. I showed this the other night too. I'll show you guys again. Let's see. Yeah, if you can see this, let me get this bigger for you so you can see it. Here you go. There, can you see that now? All right, see? Now, the first standard that came out was Category 4 LTE. It is just plain LTE 4G. It was the first version that came out. Then when the X7 modem come out with Category 6 LTE, now we go into LTE Advanced, which they called it 4G Plus. All right, so these modems covered that. Category 6, 7, 9, and 12. All these versions was just small improvements, more carrier aggregation, more data streams. So it actually got the speeds better. Because here, see the speeds, 150, 300, 450, 600. We got up here to the X12 modem. All right, so now we go over here to LTE Advanced Pro. That is what's out right now. That's the next version. And that is in Category 16, Category 18, Category 20. That's what we're up to now in the phones. It's Category 20. Now, Category 22 is coming out in 2021. Yeah, even though 5G is coming out, they're still updating the LTE. The only reason to buy a new phone with 5G in it right now is to get this better modem in here for 4G. It's going to give you more carrier aggregation and faster speeds. So a new 5G phone is only going to help you for LTE. It's not going to help you for 5G yet until the standalone comes out for AT&T next year and Verizon for next year. Skunk Mobile is going to be spinning their wheels for the next 3 or 4 years. So don't even worry about 5G for them.
I'm expecting a good improvement on my T-Mobile connection on the Pixel 5 XL versus the Pixel 3 XL. It's
talking
not
about the
going.
Pixel 5 with 5G in it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a groundbreaking improvement, but it's
And you
going to be
realize what modem it's going to have?
what?
X52 modem. See, it's not even the X55. It's a halfway version. It's a watered down version of the 55 and 50. It's like in between here. It's an upgraded 50 is what it is.
Well, considering in my market the only 5G connection available.
Yeah, well, it won't work on standalone.
No, but I'm not
for a new radio. For voice over NR.
Yeah, I'm not getting that anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. In order to make a phone call on standalone 5G, you have to have an X60 modem because it's NR, voice over NR.
But Ricky, what I'm getting at is I'm not going to have a noticeable upgrade to any of that till at least 2022.
Okay.
The current 5G available in my county comes from T-Mobile Band 71 with the potential of Band 41.
Right.
So I'm not going
That's
to...
the only hope they have, if they have the money to do it, and they have enough money for the backhaul.
With the X52, I'll be getting the most I can get out of what I have in my market.
Right.
So it's a good buy. It's a good upgrade compared to what I have. And by the time better technology comes out in my market, I might be in the market for a new phone.
Yeah, 2021, summertime 2021 is going to be the best time to buy a new phone with 5G because by then you're going to have AT&T and Verizon out with their standalone system and an X60 modem in it. Then it's going to be able to carrier aggregate millimeter wave, mid-band, and low band all together, and you'll be able to get gigabit speeds no matter if you're in the country or the city.
Now you're missing something.
Uh-oh, what am I missing? In
my market, those are not proposed upgrades for those carriers. At least not yet.
Well, it will be for AT&T. AT&T's standalone is going to be nationwide. It's really going to be nationwide. It's not going to be this one out of every 6 towers like T-Mobile.
No. It is going to be nationwide, but that doesn't mean it's in every market in the nation.
It will be with AT&T.
They would need to upgrade their 3G towers here first.
Well, that really don't matter because what they're doing is they're adding DSS and then they're updating
DSS 3G.
Well, DSS will work on 3G.
Yeah, but you're not going to throw 5G.
If there is no 3G or 4G, regular 4G or whatever, 3G phones connected to that tower, then there's not going to be anything dedicated for that. That there will be no 3G spectrum sitting idle, not used. Now, what happens if a 3G phone connects to that site? Then what it's going to do, it's going to grab a slice of that spectrum and it's going to assign it to that 3G phone. Then when that 3G phone leaves and goes to another tower site, then it's going to go back. It's going to leave. It's going to free that up for the LTE and the...
It's going to get no service because AT&T isn't selling phones in their stores compatible with the 3G in the market.
They're doing what?
You're not selling phones compatible with the market 3G in my market.
Well, I would hope they wouldn't sell 3G phones anymore.
Yeah, that's the point.
They're not selling 3G phones. The only 3G phones out there is just what's already out there that people own.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is I'm not expecting AT&T to do a $600 million upgrade in my market in a year and a half.
Well, they are. It's coming, dude.
Where are they?
AT&T is upgrading every single tower in the United States they own.
Ellie or GD, are they jerking off for that type of cash?
They got FirstNet. Did you forget about that? Once FirstNet is 100% complete, the government's going to pay them for the system. They have to build it first, then they pay them. Once they pay them, then they're going to use that to finish out their 5G.
I know about FirstNet. I talked with Alliance. They're not scheduled to build out here until 2022.
Well, it depends on the market, but they're still doing upgrades.
At that point, you'd be DDSing band 14 only.
Well, the way First Network, it uses all the bands. It just has a priority for 14 to give you that extra carrier aggregation. And if the network's tanking, then yeah, it reserves that band 14 for only them.
The First Net Alliance only deals with band 14.
No, the band 14 users have all the bands. Just like all the customers.
Do you know what the First Net Alliance is?
Mm-hmm.
It's the organization that maintains the standard used for that band. They only deal with band 14.
What state are you in, Gene? Can you force?
He's in Delaware.
U.S. cellular? 5G is not fake, although confusing. Yeah, they've made this 5G thing confusing. I wish the FCC would have stepped in here and made some kind of standard. So
it is a standard.
Just like back in this standard. You got 4G, then you got 4G plus, and then you got LTE Advanced Pro is 4.5G. That's what the FCC should have mandated. That's put on the phones. So your phone will say 4G, or it'll say 4G plus, or it'll say 4.5.
5G is a standard. The problem is it was released as a phased deploy standard.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. But this 5G, the way they did it was just stupid. So, and then some of these carriers like T-Mobile are.
So the FCC does not regulate cellular standards.
Well, they should be.
Oh, there's a department that already does that.
Yeah, well, whoever's department it is, they need to do it because this has been the biggest shit show I've ever seen in my whole life. It's ridiculous.
But they did formalize the standard. They just thought it would be a good idea to do phased deployment. And
yeah, I call it half-ass deployment. That's what I call it.
When I'm talking with people about how to deploy 6G, I'm going to say, don't do this get your foot wet shit.
Oh, geez.
No,
yeah, that's the problem.
When you release 6G, just throw it right out there like you're throwing someone in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Well, you do realize why AT&T turned on the N5 nationwide, right? You do know why they did that. They wasn't planning on doing that. The only reason they did that is because of T-Mobile's fake 5G that they did. So what they did is AT&T said, "Oh, well, you're going to do it? Okay. Well, we'll just flip on band 5 across the whole country, just like you did band 66 or band 71. 600." And that's what they did. But in reality, what AT&T was planning on is having LTE across the whole country. And then one day, when they're ready nationwide on every single tower, DSS is done, they're 100% ready. They was going to flip the switch and go from 4G to standalone 5G all at one time in 2021. That's what they was planning on doing. But since T-Mobile is so busy bragging they're first, we did it first. They do it half-assed, but they do it first. But that's the only reason they did that.
No,
and then also the 5GE symbol was another way for them to try to compete against T-Mobile and their bragging rights and stuff.
5GE came out before T-Mobile 5G. Now the company that did the first and set the narrative for what 5G is Verizon, where you get these pockets with the millimeter wave, and since they set the narrative, most people think the only way you get true 5G is if you're blazing so fast you throw out a joint and it starts burning.
Oh God, that's funny.
But that, in my opinion, that's a little disingenuous, and the only way you get real 5G is when your ping is sub 10.
Yep. Yeah, you're right, Zachary. That's going to be really good. Network slicing is going to be it's going to be good for everybody. Some people is already saying that network slicing is they're turning it into a negative thing. Oh, well, we don't want no network slicing, but what they don't understand is going to give them a better quality of service because you're going to get rid of deprioritization, you're going to get rid of throttling, and you're just going to simply do a speed tier. So you want this speed unlimited, you pay this price. You want this speed unlimited, you pay it. You get a low ping, get a low jitter, quality service is high. Yeah, it's a win-win. So, oh, you're welcome, Kathy. Non-standalone needs an LTE anchor, but standalone does not. That's exactly right.
Standalone.
It's basically called the core.
Standalone, though, does have an LTE fallback.
Okay, standalone 5G aggregates with LTE for higher throughput.
Yep.
Well, actually, with non-standalone, it's not really higher output. It's just basically taking 90% LTE and 10% LTE or new radio and changing your signal icon to a 5G symbol. That's the only benefit you're getting out of it. You're not getting any faster speed, and you're not getting any lower ping because it's too much LTE mixed with it. It's like this: you go to the bar, you order a shot of whiskey, comes up there. She pours in 10% whiskey in your shot glass. Then she comes with water. She pours 90% water in there. Now you got your shot. She hands you your shot. Here's your shot. Give me $10. And you're looking at her crazy. Wait a minute. I'm not paying $10 for 10% whiskey. Oh, no, it's whiskey. Yeah, well, it's true. It's whiskey, but it's watered down whiskey. It's not going to give you. Now, think about this. If it only has 10% whiskey, is it going to get you more drunk because you're calling it whiskey? No. You need 100% whiskey to get drunk. So look at it in that analogy.
No, sometimes 10% would work.
Yeah, if you're a lightweight.
No, it's called psychosomatic. The brain goes.
Oh, God, you make me laugh.
No, seriously. Pete. The brain goes, I'm getting full strength whiskey. You drink the watered down whiskey, and it's the same.
Oh, my gosh. All right. My mess says, I think a design for Fi Moto G Power phone, you could see US. Yeah. Yeah, if you go in there, if you go on Google Fi's website, it actually has a list of design for Fi. If you want the true dual SIM, dual standby connectivity thing where it automatically switches, then that's what you get. So if you live in an area where you're bordering between T-Mobile and US Cellular, that's the perfect thing. So that as you go through the area, it'll switch automatically.
Aggressively switch automatically.
Yeah, exactly. Any US Cellular really needs phones or Google Fi. Bring your own on us sounds bad. I don't know why it should be. Okay. MS, but bring your own device. Yeah, the thing is with the bring your own device, you just got to make sure it's matched. It has all the frequency bands. Because if it's missing bands, you're going to have poor coverage, poor speeds. Yeah, sometimes if you get an older flagship, if you can get yourself a hold of a really good shape older flagship, then and bring your own device, then you can you can save money and yet have a very quality. That's what SMT's been telling everybody to do. Just buy last year's flagship and just wait until 5G really comes out next year. And then invest with the $1,500 phone. There's no sense of paying $1,500 phone right now unless you need the extra speed for 4G.
And in some markets, you can't even find that.
Right. Is eSIMs different than a dual SIM device? Well, a dual SIM device has two SIM cards, two physical SIM cards in it, that where you can manually switch between the two. Whereas an eSIM has one embedded. It's built into the phone. It's electronic SIM that's built in. You can't remove it from the phone. And then the secondary SIM is actually used as a physical SIM. Does that help you there, Gene? Then a dual SIM device. Google Fi has their own customizations on their design for Fi. Phones use all three networks, and it's not DSDS. No eSIM.
Google Fi runs on
It's
eSIM.
not DSS or DSDS. Yeah, that's how the design for Fi works. Yeah. Here, let me just go here. Design for Fi phones. Okay, here. We'll just go right here to design for Fi. Okay, here we go. All right, check this out. All right, here we go. And look, Pixel 4a, yay! Okay, let's get down to where, okay, let's see if your phone's compatible here. Okay, what's your phone manufacturer? Well, no, I don't want that. I want to design for Fi. There's another section here. Where's that? iPhone, oh, right here, design for Fi, here we go. All right, here's design for Fi models right here. And this tells you how it works, okay? Let's see, where's it at? I was looking for the exact, telling you how it works. They're not explaining how it works. They're just saying it works. Yeah, design for Fi phone gives the full Fi experience. Yeah, this thing's not, it's not showing you what the DSDS is and all that stuff, but that service, that's what makes up this design for Fi. Dual SIM, dual standby. I don't remember exactly where it is on here. It's been a while since I looked it up. But here's a list of the phones right here. These phones, designed for Fi. Here's all the details. Yeah, Motorola G7 unlocked. Motorola G6 unlocked. V35 ThinQ unlocked. Pixel XL. Pixel 2. Pixel 3. 4A. Oh, here it is right here. All right. Pixel 4a connects to the Sprint network in a data-only mode when using DSDS, which is Fi dual SIM. Maybe there's a second terminology that I forgot. I know there's two different modes. Fi dual SIM. But that's where the information is on the Google Fi stuff right here. Single physical SIM and an eSIM is dual SIM. Fi Switch app is a cool app that shows you what network you're on Google Fi with. You can switch during the buttons or with a widget. Okay. Throw iPhone into a dumpster fire. They catch on fire anyway, so you might complete their life cycle. Oh, that's funny. All right, made for Fi. Let's see, Paul says, I think those SIMs are physical SIMs and eSIM is electronic. Yeah, that's true. eSIM is electric.
Because it's a chip.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, I'm headed to bed. You young
chip on board. Okay, Pete. All right, thanks for popping on. It's good to have you. Good to hear from you again.
I'm not dead. I'm just busy.
Have a good night, buddy. Until the next time.
Night.
All right, Zachary says LT Advanced with 256 QAM, 4x4 MMO. It's usually the full stack of bands. Okay, yeah. Okay. Get to the chat here. I'm almost caught up. Galaxy A01 device is dual SIM service. It's a Mexican version, not designed for the USA market. Yeah, you gotta be careful. It's gotta, when you go to that website, you gotta make sure it's exactly what it needs to be to do it. Because not all devices are supported. Some of the international ones don't work. 2 slots. Siova! Got any skunk apes over there, Siova? Pixel 5 with the SD. Oh shit, is that the Skeeter I just saw? How the hell does Skeeter get in here? Sucker better not bite me. Better not have dengue fever. All right, good night, Kathy. Catch up here and chat. Been on here for 2 hours and 15 minutes, so we're done. Live, Ricky. Yep, stopping for gas and food. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Bob. I know some people have to go, so have a great night. Oh yeah, backhaul is very, very important. You can't just upgrade the sites. Hey Lou, how you doing? Okay. Everybody saying hi. You would have to climb the tower to get DSS antennas up there. Well, DSS isn't in the antennas. DSS is in the software. It's in the software in the base station unit. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you where it's at. I got some neat little diagrams here. I'll show you this while I'm at it. And for some of the new people on here too. Just probably never seen this before. Oh, here we go, right here. Okay, here we go. Here, check this out. There we go. Oh, there it is. All right, see there? All right, this is 1990. This is the old way. You have a base, the BTS is called a base transceiver station. It's where the radios are, the control unit, the fiber hooks in that, everything hooks into this. And then the radio is hooked to the antenna with coax. You got coax that comes up here and goes up. That's the old way. It was just a 4 antennas on a panel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's generation 1. Whoops. Then you go to here as we go further. Then you come out with the first generation of MIMO, which means massive in, massive out. And this is 2x2. They just took this and they just put them cross polarization instead of it's half vertical. See, this is vertical. Up and down is vertical polarization, and then horizontal will be sideways. So what they did is they just put them halfway. So you got 2x2 MIMO. Then what they did is they moved the radio out of the base station down here. They moved the radio out of here, and they mounted the radio up here at the top of the tower. And what they did with that, here, let me find a picture so I can show you what the picture of it is. I think I can show it to you on this. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, I gotta zoom in here. Nope, that didn't zoom. Gotta zoom in like this. Yeah. All right, here's an example of it right here. Here's the antenna. Here's the radio. This is the radio transmitter. It's called a RRU. It's a remote radio unit. So instead of using the coax, and actually in this tower, when T-Mobile upgraded this tower, the coax was like hanging down. You can right here. You can see where that's coax right there. This coax used to be plugged in the antenna, but then what they did is they mounted the RRH, and then they plugged it in. So the coax is now going from the antenna into the little box. This little box. So it goes from here to here. So it's a lot more efficient because coax has lost. See this coax over here? This coax going up the tower, that's going to T-Mobile, or I mean AT&T. AT&T is up here. This is the old way. They haven't even upgraded this tower yet. This still has coax going up here to these panels. When AT&T upgrades a site, they're going to unhook these coaxes off here. They're going to mount a RRH, a radio remote head on here. They're going to run the control cable down, which will have the control to the radio and the fiber, the front haul fiber from the base down to the bottom up to the tower. It's going to dump that into that little box, and that's how it does it. So you got a control head, a control wire that controls the radio, and then you got another, it's called front haul fiber optics, that takes the fiber and dumps it in here. And then the radio puts it out on a coax, dumps it in the antenna, and then it goes out to the signal. That's how that works. That kind of shows you what it is. So that's what this is, radio remote head. You got the front haul fiber goes up, and you got the DU. Goes that Skeeter. Damn Skeeter. How'd he get in here? All right. So this is a DU, which stands for digital unit. And then you start adding more stuff. You put two of them on here. Two. Now you got 4x4. See, 2x2. Now you got 4x4. So what it does is it goes up and splits it. You're doubling your capacity, so that's 2016. Now you continue on to generation 3. Now what they're doing is this. Everything's the same. It's just putting it up here, and then it's got more elements in here. And this is called your massive MO. Well, massive MIO is over here. This is your 64 element here. So that's what they're doing with this. That helps you out. Let's see, where are we at here? I think that's where it was here. Good library, going off to bed. Okay. Great night. Back call. See, I did this already. So yeah, as I was showing you, that where the DU is, the digital unit, that's where the DSS gets installed, the software in that. So that digital unit, which is the control, it's a hardware that's actually a controller. It controls the radio up in the tower. It's actually in there where the DSS is controlled there. So it's not actually in the antennas. It's actually in the digital unit downstairs, down in a little building shack down at the bottom. Even current phones can access band 5 HSPA. Yeah, if it's necessary. If that's the only signal, like if it's really congested, yeah, it can fall back on all that stuff. FirstNet isn't in every market yet, as not all states have partnered with them. Yeah, basically the way it works is when a company becomes a subscriber to them, they buy the equipment, then you start using it, and then what they do is they upgrade the towers with the band 14 added in there as extra capacity, and it gives them a dedicated. So basically, when you're connected to FirstNet, you're guaranteed a certain speed and bandwidth, and ping and all that kind of stuff. So you got a guaranteed quality of service. Plus, you got, remember we were talking about QCI? Well, your QCI is high. So it's going to take that band 14 and those other bands and aggregate them together and give you a really good, strong signal. Now, if the system gets super duper congested, then what it's going to do is it's not going to let any low priority people touch band 14. It's going to exclusively lock band 14 when it's congested to only the FirstNet people. So at least they get a certain dedicated amount of data and speed. It's only for them. But when the system is not bogged down during emergency and it's running smooth as can be, every user, no matter who you are, gets access to all the bands. It's just the QCI, the priority levels change to gives you priority over it. That's how the FirstNet set is set up there. Yeah, band 14 is priority for the FirstNet customers. That's correct, and that's why they're installing band 14, because eventually every site in the United States has to have band 14 on it. They have to have it. But what they're doing is they're only upgrading the sites with band 14 on it, where they have subscribers. But there is some places where they're doing upgrades. They're adding 14, and there's no subscribers there. Because it's kind of silly to upgrade the tower for 5G and everything else and then not put 14 on it, and then you have to come back later when somebody signs up for the service. So AT&T is touching each tower one time. They go up the tower, they do everything. Install the DSS, they upgrade the panels, they change it, they take the coax off, they put the remote radio heads up, they do the front hall and the back hall, they update that, they add the new panels up there for the new frequency bands. They add band 30, band 14, band 29, all those extra capacity bands. They add all that stuff there. They touch the tower one time. Then later on, then all they got to do is just engineer connects to that DU, the digital unit, the thing that controls the whole brains of the whole thing, controls to it. And then you say, okay, activate 5G now. Then it turns 5G on all bands. That's how easy it's going to be. So when January comes, it's going to be easy. They'll just go market by market, and they'll just start hitting buttons on the computer, and it's going to enable all those features, and it's going to turn on. So they don't have to go to each tower and turn on 5G or turn on standalone mode or turn on voice over new radio. They don't have to do that. So that's the whole purpose of them, all these towers being connected in the network. That's what Caleb does. He's an engineer, and that's what he works from his house. He connects on his computer. He logs into the sites, and he configures everything up. And he can turn down sites. He can tweak them. He can change this configuration and all that. The only time somebody has to visit the tower site if something hardware has to be replaced, or they have to turn the antennas in a different direction if it's not aimed right. If it's aimed too high, too low, or too left, too right, they can send a technician out there to reconfigure that. Other than that, everything else is done remotely. Hopefully that gives you guys a little insight on how that stuff works. And just trust me on this too. I'm not an engineer myself. I don't know everything. I only know what I've learned. So there's a whole bunch that I don't know, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've actually researched on and learned. And Caleb's actually been teaching me a little bit about the network stuff. So kudos to Caleb for help teaching me on this stuff. Oh God, 6G. I don't even want to see those two things together. I don't want to see a 6 and a G right next to each other until 10 years from later. I'll probably be dead in 10 years, so I'll probably don't even have to worry about 6G. I'll probably be pushing up daisies by the time 6G comes out because I'm getting old. AT&T had equipment to do non-standalone 5G, but DSS requires new equipment. Yeah, the equipment has to match. Yeah, you can't just take DSS and put it on old 4G stuff. It has to be the new radio equipment. Yeah, you basically have to upgrade everything. What do you think about Visible owned by Verizon? It's okay. It's got a certain place for people and everything. Better to have the need than not to have need. I like that, Paul. I like that analogy. That is true. Standalone needs an LTE band for calling. Not standalone. Standalone does not need LTE anymore. It doesn't use it at all. If you got a true standalone system, not this skunk mobile stuff either. I'm gonna kill this damn skeeter. I'm gonna get my zapper. I got my zapper. See here? Look at this. That skeeter flies by here. I'm gonna pop him. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pop him. Fry him. Yeah, so once you get standalone done the right way, 100% true, then it's going to be running on its own independent core. It's going to use all new radio band or new radio digital mode, and it's going to be 100% 5G, and it's going to have voice over NR, just like LTE has voice over LTE. So basically, when you make a phone call on a standalone system, it's going to use voice over NR and make the phone call. So a true, real, not fake standalone system will not use LTE anymore for calling, for data, for nothing. Now, the old LTE core will be there for the LTE phones. So it's going to be two separate things. You're going to have LTE core running, and you're going to have a 5G core running. It's two separate independent things. But guess what? Voice over NR is not available on the X55 modem, which is all the 5G phones out now. The X60 modem is the next one that's going to have voice over NR. So not till that comes out, then they will have really true. That's what everybody's waiting on. They're waiting on them X60 modems to come out. Then that's why everybody's not turning on standalone. That's why AT&T and Verizon's not turning on yet. Because why waste all your time and energy to have a fake standalone system or hybrid or whatever you want to call it? Why even waste your time spending your money and configuring all that mumbo jumbo when you're going to do real standalone later? It just don't make any sense. The reason why T-Mobile is doing it is because we are first. We have first 5G. We have first this. We have first this. That's all they're at. They're all about being first, but they're last because they half-ass everything to get to that place with first. That's why they're first. You can't do it first if you do it right. So that's why AT&T and Verizon is silently in the background. I mean, nobody even knew Verizon was getting ready to do standalone. And then all of a sudden one day it leaked out. Somebody was interviewing somebody and they said, oh, yeah, Yeah, we're going to do 100% standalone in 2021. Everybody says, what? Well, we thought we was just only doing millimeter wave. And they go, oh no, we got big plans. You'll wait and see. So it's pretty crazy. Verizon is very secret of what they do out there. They just, and then you got T-Mobile out there bragging, oh, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And half the stuff they say, you just shake your head. It's just like, no, they're deceiving people. I'm never going to 5G. I'm staying with 4G. I'm open 4G. No. Yeah, Gene, I think you're okay. I think for the next 10 years, you can keep your LTE phone and be happy. That's the beauty of it. They're going to keep that old system up, just like right now. There's still 3G stuff out there. You got people out there with 3G flip phones. They won't give them up until they shut it down, which some carriers are already shutting it down. I hate this thing. Thing blocks half of me. All right. Eventually, the network will be all 5G, newer technology. Yeah, well, that's not for 10 years or so. Very interesting stream. Are you guys just fans of telecommunications, or do you work for them? Well, we're just fans. That's what I am, anyways. SMT, he's a teacher. That's what he does. He's a teacher. Me, I used to be a firefighter paramedic, and I used to teach fire and EMS and all that kind of stuff, and CPR, all that. So I have teaching experience. So it seems like the people doing the YouTube channels, most of them have teaching experience. So that's why they teach their passion to others, and that's why we do so well. Now Pete, he's a network kind of guy, so he actually works on systems and stuff. So he does network communications and Wi-Fi and networking and all that kind of stuff. That's what Pete does. So he's got his own business. That's what he does. So yeah, that's what we like to do. I'm just nothing but a big tech geek here. So, and I have my amateur radio license, so that's how I know a lot about radios and propagation and how stuff works and all that stuff. So, and I've actually had a job before. I've actually worked on two-way radio companies for like the police and fire departments. I've actually went around installing code plug and software and stuff like that. I've never done any tower work other than my own tower work for my own antennas for like amateur radio for shortwave. So I have climbed towers. I have installed all kinds of different stuff, and just like right now, I have my amateur radio stuff right here by my screen here. I got a shortwave radio, and I got a VHF UHF radio, and it's got the VHF's got digital mode in it. It's got the new digital mode in it for amateur radio. And then I got this little box here. This little box, if you see it. This little box connects my radio, my walkie-talkie. It connects to this, and it sends it through the internet to other repeaters and other boxes across the whole world. And you can actually talk all over the world with the walkie-talkie now. So it's almost kind of like a Nextel thing, but this is on amateur radio. So it's kind of like the same thing. The new Nextel uses the same thing. It uses push to talk over cellular. So it connects to phone. The phone connects, the radio connects to the tower, sends out the data to the data center where it determines the talk group and all that stuff for whatever company you own and stuff, sends it to all your workers, and that's how everything's linked together. So, all right, let's see if I can catch up in this chat here. Then we're going to call it a night. So see if we got any more questions here. The Pixel 4 XL can use DSDS to use two carriers at once on Fi. Yep, designed for Fi. It's a very, very neat thing to do. If you're a liquor drinker, Pete, that might be a joke to them. 10% is true for hardcore alcoholic drinkers. Shot drinking contest, 100% proof. At 10%, they would be there. And definitely, yeah, that's true. They wouldn't be very happy spending $10 for 10% either. That's for sure. Google Fi says they use crap T-Mobile. Yeah, that's the only bad thing. I mean, I'm sure T-Mobile works in some areas, but the areas that I tried to use it, it was horrible. It was horrible in Ohio. It was horrible in Fort Lauderdale. It was horrible in Vegas. Just about everywhere I went with when I had Metro was horrible, in my experience. And then when I was here in the Keys, it actually worked. But of course, there's nobody down here that has Metro. There's hardly any Metro customers down here. Most of the people down here in the Keys are rich, and they all have AT&T and Verizon. That's what they have. And most of the people down here, they travel up north and down here. So they have to have a reliable service since they do a lot of traveling, because a lot of them are retired. Some of them have campers. They travel with their campers all over the country, and they come down here, hang out for the wintertime. So there's not a lot of Metro users down here. Not a lot of prepaid down here either. For the currently... referring to that currently, our phones need LTE for calling. Yeah, that's why you have to have a non-standalone system, because it's using LTE as for the voice over LTE, and it's using 90% of the data. Awesome. Yeah, all this 5G stuff is so complicated. They just the way they've just did things here just is crazy. I don't understand why they just couldn't go 4G and then build out to 5G and then one day just flip the switch and turn it on. I just wish they'd done that, because this transition period of doing 10% and this and that and then they launch phones out that doesn't even do the full capability. That's another thing. Yeah, Carlos does the speed test. I forgot about Carlos. Yeah, Carlos actually goes out there and does the speed test out in the field and brings us the information and the facts. He's the one that showed us proof that the standalone T-Mobile network is fake. It's not real. He's the one that showed us that. He's doing a speed test. He's getting 25 a ping, and the speed wasn't that good. If he was close to the tower, he got like 75 to 80. And then when he was far from the tower, he was getting like 5 megabits down. And then between two band 71 towers, he had no service. So he's in non-standalone mode, or he's in standalone mode, sitting there with a phone that says no service on it, because the band 71 600 megahertz towers are too far apart, because the two towers between those two towers are on LTE. So when you go standalone, guess what? You can't connect to LTE anymore. That's the stupidest thing any carrier could do. Why would you just eliminate the two towers that you have in front of you just because you want to prove, oh, we got standalone first? Stupidest thing ever. And when he made a phone call, it actually worked on standalone. So that's just showing you right there, it's not a true standalone core. And of course, we found out later that it's in the cloud. It's a standalone in the cloud. It's kind of like, I guess you would call hybrid. It's like half, it's just like this non-standalone. It's a non-standalone standalone core. If that gets anything confusing. Oh, it's not standalone. It's non-standalone standalone. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard, man. The things these carriers do to try to say, I'm first. There's the term I was looking for. DSDA. That's it. Thank you for looking that up. I totally drew a blank on that. I totally forgot that. That's what I was looking for dual, or for design for Phi. That's exactly right. It's DSDA, not DSDS. So that's dual SIM, dual active. And that's the one that automatically switches between the towers. Yeah. And it's not two different modems. It's two different SIM cards. It has eSIM and physical SIM. And it's automatically switching back and forth. Whichever carrier has a stronger signal, then actually switches. So it actually roams between your, I shouldn't say roam. Roam's a bad thing. It automatically switches between the two. But thank you, Michael, for actually looking that up. You're actually right. That's what I was looking for. It wasn't on Google Fi's site either. I knew it was out there. I just had to look in another place for it. But that's it. Dual SIM, dual active. Absolutely right. Okay. My security camera just blanked out. I don't know what that was. Oh, here's a skeeter flying around. Again. I don't know how a skeeter got it. There must be a crack in the door or something, and he just like crawled through the crack and got in here. I hope he don't bite me. I don't want no dengue fever. Okay, looks like we're bottom of the list here. All right, yeah, we're at the bottom of the list here. All right, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, there's still 28 people in here. If you got one last question here you want to ask or whatever, just post it in here. We'll get your question answered. So, but I want to thank everybody for joining me on the live stream here. Hopefully you learned a couple things. And if you want to become a Patreon member, you get tech support from me. So anything you need help with, if you need phone advice, wireless advice, carrier advice, MVNO advice, Wi-Fi network advice. If you need help with a Wi-Fi, if you got Wi-Fi at your house and it's slow, you want to do an upgrade, you want to figure out what the best way to do it, I can help you with that stuff too. I'm not a computer expert like Pete is, but I do know a little bit about computers too. So I can help you with the minimal stuff. And the most thing is if there's a question you need and I don't know the answer, I am very good at looking. I know where to look on the World Wide Web for certain information because there's certain sites out there. I just know what information is on what sites and I can rapidly get to it. Most people, when you search for something on Google, you put what you want in there and all this crap comes up. And it ain't got nothing to do with what you put in the search bar. So yeah, over the years, I've learned how to kind of change the words a little bit to try to force it to narrow down to exactly what I'm looking for. And sometimes you got to be patient. And you just got to read through all the stuff, read through the stuff, then you go there. That's what I want. And then you click on it, and there's the information. So Google has become a lot more trickery and to try to find a place. It used to be in the old days, you type something in there, and that exact thing would come up. But guess what? People was manipulating search engine optimization, which is SEO. They're manipulating that so that they can get, traffic forced to their site from other people that really ain't looking for it, and they're hoping, oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm going to buy that. So that's what they do. They try to force other people there and hoping that when you're there, you say, oh, that's interesting. And then you'll buy whatever they're selling. So, yeah, so it's a mess. So anybody needs any help, you can become a Patreon member and you get exclusive priority to the help area. Let's see. Good night, Greg. Thanks for coming in tonight. Mikey, Tech Review. Hello there. Thanks for popping in. And Michael, when will we begin to see millimeter wave in more suburban areas? Oh, okay. Well, a matter of fact, I did a live stream. You can see it on my replay. If you go to my channel, I actually have the first stream that I did on AT&T Project Air Gig. I actually went in there, explained the technology on that. That is what AT&T is going to do. They're going to have nationwide millimeter wave. Yeah, in the rural areas too. Anywhere there's electric lines, there's going to be millimeter wave. That's what AT&T is working on. That's the second half of the non-standalone mode. I think that Skeeter just bit me. Sucker. I hate Skeeters. So yeah, so AT&T is going to use low band and mid band first to go nationwide. And then later on, then they're going to expand their millimeter wave through the whole country using the power lines. Pretty cool. So check out that live stream. And then for Verizon, on the other hand, Verizon has no intention on going millimeter wave in the rural areas. They are going to stick to low band and mid band for the rural areas. The city areas, they're going to use millimeter wave. They're going to keep expanding it. And there's a new thing that's out. Let's see. I'll show you guys this real quick. I also did a live stream on this. So there's another live stream I did on this talking about the new millimeter wave technology. So if you go to that live stream, you can learn more about this, but I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it is. Okay, so Verizon is putting up millimeter wave on macro sites, where they was putting them on small cells on light posts down in the city. And of course, the signal wasn't very good. Millimeter wave is only 1 watt. It bounces off of everything since it's on radar band. It's the same band as radars, the police radars on. It's like KU and KA band. So it's very, very bouncy. So what they're doing is they're putting on millimeter wave on the macro site. This new technology called Pivot 5G is grabbing the signal off there and repeating it like almost like a mesh network, like the Zeus Wi-Fi routers. It's like a mesh where it uses integrated access backhaul, which I talked about that on one of my live streams also. I completely showed everybody what that is. So it's going to use the millimeter wave backhaul to here, and then it's going to turn around and then repeat it out to all places. So here, they don't have to do no fiber to this because the fiber is wireless. So it uses, that's what IAB is, it's wireless fiber. It's going to shoot it from the towers to these. These are going to repeat the signals out and densify the area with millimeter wave. And then there's a second device called Echo 5G, which I don't have a picture of it, but it's called Echo 5G. See, it explains it right here, Echo 5G. Those are going to send the signal into the buildings. So those will be mounted near the windows of the buildings, and it'll shoot it right through the window into the building, and then you have more 5G signal on millimeter wave in there. So this is what Verizon's doing. They're getting 4 times the square mile coverage with this system than they do with the old way. So give Verizon about a year and a half. I'd say by January of 2022, they're going to have, I wouldn't call it nationwide. I would call it nationwide urban millimeter wave. So all the major metropolitan cities will have this system. It'll be super duper fast. Then they'll use low band and mid band in the rural areas. And then of course the new 3.5 and the 3.7 mid band, they're going to use that too. So that's coming. So this is like incredible stuff. 2021 is going to be like one of the most amazing years for wireless tech. The stuff that's coming out is just crazy. All right, MS says, great stream tonight. Nice to see all the gang back and all on the screen at once. Wonderful job, guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Good night, Ricky. I need to get to bed. Yeah, me too. It's getting kind of late. Time for sleep. Thanks for coming in. See you, Paul. Mikey Tech Review. See ya. What did the Skunk Mobile Q2 earnings and Skunk Mobile lying, saying they have fastest standalone 5G faster? Yeah, exactly. This is all raccoonery, buffoonery. And then I actually have people that's arguing with me. People argue with me, saying, "What's your proof? What's your proof?" Well, I can talk about the proof. I can show you the proof, and then people say, "Oh, well, it's real." Okay, I just explained to you why it's fake. I showed you why it's fake, and then you say, "Oh, it's not fake." So at this point, I'm not going to waste my time beating a dead horse. I'm just going to forget about it. People who will not accept the truth. There's people out there that will not accept the truth. So there's nothing I can do for them. Only thing I can do is give the information out, and everybody can do what they want with it. So it's up to them. So yeah, that's that's the only thing I can do. I can't convince anybody of the truth. You just can't do it. So, I mean, for instance, if I hold up a pen and I tell them, okay, this is a red pen, then somebody would type in the comments, no, Ricky, that's a yellow pen. No, it's not a yellow pen. It's a red pen. No, Ricky. Prove to me it's a red pen. And I'm holding the pen, and it's right here. It's a red pen. Look, it's red. It's red. Look. No, Ricky. Prove it's a red pen. I give up. I really do give up, man. But that's the only thing I can do. I love helping people. I love educating people and all that kind of stuff. But there's only so much you can do. And, you know, there's going to be some people that hate me. They say my streams are too long. I tried to keep this thing down under 2 hours. But as you see, it's 2 hours and 48 minutes. I am so sorry for the people who don't like long streams. But the beauty of it is you can watch it in pieces. If you want to watch part of it live and then the other part in replays, then you can do that too. So I apologize for the long streams, but everybody else is doing videos. I choose to do live streams because I like to I like the live interaction with my subscribers. I like it where I can talk, they ask questions, and that's where I get my name. It's Wireless Tech Q&A, question and answer session. That's what it is. It's kind of hard to do that on a video. So, but anyway, we need millimeter wave deployed on low mid bands. It may be slower than high bands, but high bands can only reach a short distance, which makes it useless. Well, I mean, millimeter wave is high band. That's what millimeter wave is, high frequency. It's microwave band. So you really can't put millimeter wave on low band and mid band because low band is low band and mid band is mid band and millimeter wave is high band. But we can definitely expand millimeter wave into urban areas and expand the low and mid bands to make more capacity and then deploy the standalone stuff later on. And it's going to be great. Yeah, the future looks good. It's going to be really, really awesome. All right, so anybody wants to make a one-time payment on PayPal to help donate to the channel. You can make it on PayPal. It's on my YouTube page. It's in the comments. And if you want to be a Patreon member, you don't have to do it. Suggests $5 when you click on it, but you can change that number to whatever. You can make it $1 a month, $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can help with. So if you can do a monthly thing or you could do a one-time thing. So any help to the channel is appreciated. The StreamYard program costs $25 a month just to run by itself. So at least I'll try to break even on that. So, and plus, I want to buy some other stuff so I can, test it out in the field, show you phones and stuff like that. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody for showing up. And until next time, have a good night.